Hi, everyone. Happy Independence Day to Ukraine and the free world. Operator Starsky here. Very nice to see you guys. And today we're celebrating. Why we are celebrating is because exactly 6 months ago, we were told that we will not be celebrating another Independence Day. And of course, we've been lied to. And this Russian accent is so contagious because I've been making those sketches today. So sorry if I switched to that crap. Yeah, and I'm happy to introduce Dick Dawson, our host, and yeah, our big friend, and basically the brain of this whole show. So Dick Dawson.
Uh-oh. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Yeah, we're gonna do some celebrating. There might be the odd person out there that thinks, well, with a war going on, are you supposed to celebrate? Well, like the good man operator Starsky said, we're stuffing it down those fucking orc throats as hard as we can. Grab yourself a dead raccoon and stuff it down a fucking orc throat, and let's party and celebrate. Woo! All right. So let's see here. Claire, do you want to take us around and introduce everybody else for us?
Okay, so, well, we'll start with, of course, the opening. We have Operator Starsky here. Charles, do you want to say anything more? No? Okay.
No.
And then we'll go to our other guest up above. We have here Nicholas Sauter. Welcome from In Time. Yeah.
Yep, In Time. Thank you so much for having me. It's yeah. I mean, we've been in the same circles for so long, but I think this is the first time I've ever streamed with any of you guys. So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you here and to meet you. And then next we have Commander 401.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? You know what? This year we're celebrating Ukraine's Independence Day. Next year, Siberia will be celebrating its independence from Moscow. Hopefully, Russia will be no more after the people in Russia learn about how incompetent and how stupid and how poorly this war was planned.
Well, from your lips. Okay. And the next we have our incomparable Charlie Welch. Yeah.
I'm incomparable.
Yes.
All right.
There's no comparison, in case you need to know. All right, there you go.
All right. Well, nice to see Starsky again, and nice to meet the new guy, Nick. And I will be subbing. It sounds like a pretty interesting channel. And on with it. Thank you, Claire.
You're welcome. And then next we have Mallory. Mallory, bring it in.
Hello. Bonjour, everyone. It's good to be here on a Wednesday, sharing drinks, being with cool lads. Hugs to everyone. We are going to have an enjoyable night. Yeah. All right.
Yes, indeed. We're going to celebrate. And then also we have, not to be left behind here, DKG. Welcome. Oh. Is he not muted?
Yeah. Hold on a second. I've only just got here. I'm just still putting the telly down, getting myself sat in. Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Carry on.
Welcome. And also, we have Fallacy Dave. Hey, Dave. Welcome.
Hello. Oh, God, you've got this guy. You know what? Oh, that's it. I'm out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dave, really? Really?
Sorry, Nicholas. You should have checked the chairs. Shackles have been in. Yes, shackles are in place. Yep, you're going to have to stay. Well, on that, we'll bring it back to you. There you go. All yours, Dick.
All right. So, where do we start here? I think we need a little bit of background on today. So, I'm going to turn to Operator Starsky and see if you maybe have a story or a tale from the original Independence Day in Ukraine. This goes back to 1991, correct?
Yes. So in 1991, Ukrainian people decided to vote for independence for our beautiful country, and I think something like 90% of people voted for independence during the referendum, and it was awesome because such a oh my god, how do you call it in English? Such a place as the USSR had to be destroyed. It had to disappear because it was hell. So we became independent. We went through some pretty tough times in the 90s in all the post-Soviet area, were a time of default, inflation, mafia, gangsters, and stuff like that. But we went through this, and we got rid of mafiosi and stuff like that. And so we started developing. More and more Ukrainian people started traveling abroad, mostly to European countries, to the United States, and after a while, we decided that we want to rejoin with our European family, and it was awesome. It was awesome, but our neighbors didn't like it. I think that everybody had bad neighbors at least once in their lifetime. And so this is where we are at this point. Ukrainian Independence Day last year, I've been there at the celebration. We had a military parade in Kyiv on Kreshchatyk. Kreshchatyk is our main street in Kyiv, and we keep all kinds of celebrations there. We keep all kinds of general events, major events in our country, major concerts, and whatever you tell me. Currently there's another parade on Kreshchatyk. It's a parade of Russian tanks. Russians promised that their tanks will be on Kreshchatyk, and they are there actually, but they don't move because they were demilitarized. So we have plenty of Russian tanks there at this point, and I think that they are supposed to be in this state. So and last year it was really nice. We had so many people. So after this parade, I wasn't able to find a cab for like 30 minutes, and then I waited for other 30 minutes because the cab couldn't get through crowds, and it was so cool. There was just so many people. And that was the last time when I saw Maria flying, because we had our airplanes also participating in that parade. And it was nice. It was touching. There was this little girl who represented Ukraine. She was like running around the soldiers on this parade, looking for her like dad or something. And this year we also managed to see this girl. She was recorded in another video. I have the link to this video on my channel. I think that you're gonna like it, basically. So it's about this year, about this celebration. There's also a speech of our president. I'm not sure if there's like subtitles, but what he said is basically, like, in my opinion, it's one of the most powerful speeches of our president. He said that we are not afraid of missiles, we are not afraid of weapons, we are afraid of handcuffs of slaves, and that there's absolutely no chance for negotiations with terrorists to take place unless they want to give up and give us those lands back, those territories that they have been occupied since 2014. It was powerful. I can sign under each word because yes, this is how we all feel here in Ukraine. And I would also like to say big thanks to all people, not only soldiers, not only volunteers, not only people who do everything they can to make this independence possible here in Ukraine, but also to those people from around the earth who make this independence of Ukraine possible. Because without your help, without your support, I think we would not celebrate this day. I honestly think so, because this is how decent people should act, should react. This is what decent people around the world should do. They should support each other. They should help. And this is exactly what we see. We see that, yeah, indeed, our world, the free world, is our family. So thank you so much.
Awesome. I want to get something out quick to everybody watching. If you are somebody who has been affected by the war in Ukraine, if you're in Ukraine, if you have family that are there, if you've gone over and been support and working or fighting or anything like that, maybe you've got a story from 1991's first Independence Day. Let us know. And we will get you on the show to talk with us right now. So I'm putting a post in the chat right now, and you can email me at thesillyshow@gmail.com, and I'll give you the meets link, and you can come on and join us. If you're somebody that's been on the show lots and hangs out in the channel and whatnot, we'll get you on later. We're looking for a few of those people first, right? Yeah, no, it's just the way it is. Nicholas from the End Time Show, I bet there's at least a couple things on your mind that you'd like to maybe ask Starsky and whatnot about things, knowing you. Did you want a little time here and take the floor?
Well, thank you. That's awfully good of you. I appreciate that. I'll try to continue despite Dave's menacing scowl towards me.
Dave scowl.
So no, well, I guess where to begin? I guess the first thing I'd ask is what sources of news do you have? How are you finding out information? And in particular, there are so many. Russia's been threatening so many false flag events. They'll say, oh, the Ukrainians are going near that power plant. We don't know what's going to happen, which is, of course, what they say right before they're going to hit the power plant. So they do this a lot. Ukraine, right when the war started, I've never seen anything like it. Ukraine, like literally a shell landed at a school in Russia. They had this photo of it. They said, oh, this school in Ukraine's been hit. And it's like, no. And the Ukrainians were there like 2 minutes later, like, no, here's a camera. This is where it really is. So how have you guys been dealing with what's real and what's not when it comes to what you're hearing from the Russian side?
Thank you for your question. So we have different sources. For example, me as a military, I have a lot of internal sources as well. But when it comes to Russian media, we simply agreed not to pay any attention to what they say, literally ignore them, because they mostly say bullshit. Russian propaganda works this way. They give 10% of legit information, right? and the rest 90% is literal bullshit, just to make it look like it's as if its whole is legit. And I think people that still think that we should watch Russian media to have objective information from all the sides, I think they should search for Margarita Simonyan, her speech on the freedom of speech. It's on YouTube, and it's with subtitles. And Margarita Simonyan, she was a chief editor of Russia Today, Russian main propagandist source on the West. And in her speech, she literally says that those, meaning like West, those people who made us write in our constitution that we should not censor the freedom of speech, they want our country to die, because freedom of speech is not our way. It's bad for Russia. And she literally says so. And whenever people mention such gentlemen as oh my god, I called them gentlemen, as Graham Phillips or Lancaster, they call them like independent observers, but they forget that even that Lancaster, he worked for Russia Today for years, receiving official like salary from Russia Today, giving them videos and reports. And of course, he will not tell you the real information because he works for the media who stand against the freedom of speech, literally, and they don't afraid to say openly about this. So basically, the answer to your question is that there's literally no sense in watching Russian media, in reading their resources. All that is bullshit. You like you don't voluntarily contract disease in order to check if if it's lethal. That's why you literally don't do that. We have other sources of information, so like you better read everything else except Russian news. Still, they have a lot of propagandists. I think it's Schiller's Institute. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's in Germany.
Oh yeah, the counter. You mean the counter propagandist? They fact check all the those are the fact checkers. Then they fact check the war crimes in particular.
Yeah. And they have a bunch of other folks, mostly like bloggers, stuff like that. But here in Ukraine, we know like that. Yeah. So the New York Times, they absolutely love terrorist Girkin, the dude who in 2014 he was commanding separatists in Donbass. That's basically one of the suspects of shooting down MH17 Boeing over Ukraine. So Russia brought this anti-air system called Buk, B-U-K, and they shot down an airplane thinking that it was a Ukrainian airplane, and then they wrote it on Twitter as soon as they did it. They said, yeah, we have shot down Ukrainian airplane, yoo-hoo! And then they arrived to the scene. They saw a lot of dead people around, civilians and stuff like that.
Oh.
They deleted that tweet, but of course nothing disappears
No.
from internet. He is basically the one responsible for this. There's this joint investigation team from the Netherlands that investigated this terrorist act, and basically they assigned this Girkin as one of the main suspects. But the New York Times basically loves Girkin. They call him a military expert. They call him like leader of Ukrainian rebels and stuff like that. It's like calling Osama bin Laden.
Does Russia have military experts? Wait a minute, this is news to me. Since when does Russia have military experts? Wait a minute, we got to write this down. Hold on, I just learned something new.
I thought the strategy was just to build so many tanks you freak people out on the news. But before I let you guys continue, we got to get Claire in for a couple of shout outs, couple of super chats and stuff in, and then we'll get back to it here.
Yes, excuse me. Thank you, Nick. First, we have from CPU a new member. Welcome to Shills Apprentice, CPU.
Yeah. Welcome to the family, CPU.
Welcome.
And then for $5 American from Mackenzie Zobris. Greetings from Oregon, USA. Happy Independence Day. There's a little bit of Ukrainian there that I'm not going to be able to read. Make sure to light some fireworks if it's safe to do so. I don't know if you have that up, Dick, but I can't translate that. Maybe Nicholas can.
The only one I saw said Dobry Večer.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, what do you mean you can't read? What's a burrow nerve is you?
It's not even the same alphabet. Don't pretend. You see, this is why.
Well done, Dave. Well done, Dave. Thank you for the assist. And then from level 70 for Canadian 1399. Happy Independence Day. I strongly believe we are at a turning point in this war, and Ukraine will be completely liberated before next year's Independence Day celebration. Yay.
If I can get the live chat up, I'll read it, but I don't know what I did with the live chat. I had it up a second ago, and then I moved it. So let me get. Oh, you know what? I'll bet you it's right there. It's not, but I can get it up. Let me.
You know what? I'm trying to see. Are you coming in through Discord? Because I can just pop it into.
Yeah, well, I'm not in Discord right now. I've got it up on one of my windows, and then I moved all my windows because I got like 300 open windows here, and it should. Okay, hold on. And then I'm going blind, so now I got to check.
You know what?
I'll look at it. I'll read it. I'll read it when I find it.
I'm sorry. I don't want to put the pressure on you. It's terrible. No, sorry.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, wait. I'm the guest. What am I doing reading? Okay, so no, that's cool. That's great. I bill at 150 an hour. I started 20 minutes ago. So
Dave,
we're good.
Dave, you'll take that tab for us, right? Dave, you got that one?
Yeah. Starsky, if you like, I put it in the green room so you can see it. It's in Ukraine. I couldn't read it, but it's for you anyway.
You can actually put it into the Meet chat.
Okay. Let me see. Okay.
Got it.
You got it there?
Yeah.
I saw it. Thank you.
Yeah, it means Happy Independence Day.
There. See?
Awesome.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what the David said. Yeah.
Okay, so back to you guys.
All right. I think Nicholas probably had another one coming up. You can keep the floor if you want it there, buddy.
Sure. So then, a whole bunch of questions. I was going to add, and now this seems like it's out of left field, I think. It certainly, I think, practically speaking, has very little impact on Ukrainians on the ground. But what is the opinion of sort of the average Ukrainian right now about the UN, and in particular the possibility of Russia being expelled from the Security Council? Well, let me rephrase that. They can't be expelled from the Security Council, so they'd actually be expelled from the UN and then readmitted to the UN, but no longer on the Security Council. At any rate, that's been somewhat talked about. It seems to me that, do Ukrainians in general feel like the UN is not helping at all, or they're trying but they can't really do anything. There was a lot of symbolic acts. They got up and walked out while the Russian ambassador was speaking. But is there any thought as to whether or not the UN can be of any assistance, or are they just trying to get essentially just going straight to countries to get military assistance?
In the beginning of this invasion, probably like after a week or two since it started, here in Ukraine, like among common people, we had such a thought that actually the European Union was our biggest ally, even bigger than NATO. Because we were joking that Ukraine is a combat wing of the United Nations. Yeah, we had a lot of support from them as soon as this invasion started. The European Union condemned this invasion. They have sent us a lot of financial support, and they have arrested a lot of Russian assets in the European banks and stuff like that. So they showed a huge support to Ukrainian people. Ukrainians generally are pro-European, and I think that this invasion, as well as the support from our European friends, even made this opinion stronger that yes, we should definitely stay with Europe. Of course, people who ran away from their hometowns and cities on the front line, they don't want to see Russians around anymore. There's a bunch of zombies, unfortunately, who has never been abroad. Some of them still didn't learn Ukrainian language because they didn't care, and they support Russia, mostly people living on the occupied territories. Some of them went to Russia. I know a girl from Kramatorsk. When this war started in 2014, she went to Russia, to Rostov, as a refugee with her kids and her husband. After a while, they returned to Ukraine, and they said that, there's no way we're going to return back to Russia because, oh my God. And now they are taking refuge abroad in Europe. Yeah, of course, most of Ukrainians are pro-European. And we hope that European Union will do something to, make sure that European the United Nations itself does its job, because its job is to make sure that such things will not happen. Like we used to say, never again, but unfortunately it happened again. And yeah, the very United Nations were created when people realized that there is such thing as global security, and we have to put some effort into making sure that this global security works, that we can solve different conflicts and stuff like that. But global security is when you think about other members of your organization as much as you think about your own country. When you start thinking about yourself on the first place, global security stops functioning as it should. So they should start thinking about others as well.
One last question before I'm going to end up trying to steal the show again from Dick there. But one last question. So Ukraine became independent in 1991. When they did, they had thousands of nuclear warheads, cruise missiles, stuff like that. Now, the Budapest Accords surrendered these back to Russia. And this was controversial at the time because ostensibly, Ukraine was basically a nuclear power overnight because they're independent, but they still have these warheads. Russia at the time was not in a position to be able to try to get them back militarily. So we had the Budapest Accords in which the United States, principally the United States, UK, Russia, all signed on to multiple agreements with Ukraine. This includes, for example, if Ukraine is invaded, that the US and UK will pitch their position to the UN. Some have interpreted it to mean that the US would actually involve itself in the defense of Ukraine. Certainly, an important part of those accords was Russia guaranteed never to invade Ukraine, which they have clearly violated. So they violated the Budapest Accords. Is there a thinking that Ukraine should not have given up those nuclear weapons? And is there any animosity towards the other powers of those accords for whether is there a feeling that they haven't been stepping up as much as they should?
Absolutely. Among Ukrainians, we have this feeling that we were betrayed, actually. The thing is that in this Budapest Agreement, there was no clear answer to this question, like how will the United States and the UK, how will they prevent for example, Russia from invading? There's no clear information regarding this. So yeah, a lot of people thought that, yeah, we will be defended, like physically, and of course, a lot of Ukrainians feel betrayed, literally. And I don't blame them. On the other hand, I think that as soon as the land lease starts working at full, I think that it will pretty much change their minds a lot. So I think that we will see. We should wait until September, October, because I think September or October is the end of financial year in the United States, and that's exactly the time when the land lease will start functioning at full. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's exactly, that does. My only remaining concern is I think this is a very serious topic, and Dave is clearly playing Tetris on the side, and I just, we're trying to have a, there he is. He was playing Tetris. I saw him doing, Jesus. Can't blame that guy.
We're gonna set up a thing here in about 2 weeks. We're gonna have Dave and Nick back on the show. It's going to be a boxing ring. They're going to glove up, and it's going to happen.
No, not for all the tea in China. I'm a big fan of Dave, and
I know
when he blew up too. He came on in time when he did his. That was fun. When we probably should revisit that one.
That interview.
Yeah, that interview. Yeah, and wow. So, but it's, he's got the accent. The problem is he's got the accent. He's got that British accent.
I know.
It just makes you want to just I'm going to give him a hard time. Not for any particular reason. It's just
no, but you have to.
Yeah,
the motherfucker is verbal panty remover, and it makes me sick. Right?
No shit, right? I mean, exactly. Finally, I've got support for my position here. All right, I'm feeling better about this.
You're just whining that we still own you.
We should but and I
don't see you guys celebrating the 4th of July as the day we got rid of all that dead baggage, but fine.
Yeah. I did want to get us into a lighter mode, so it's a bit more of a party coming up. So this is good. But before we get there, we have a couple of Streamlabs tip donation callouts that we have to go to. So I'm going to turn it back over to Claire Bear, and she's going to make sure that everybody gets their awesome shout out.
Okay, well, thank you, Dick. First, we have Junebug72. who donated 1010 Canadian. Happy Independence Day, Ukraine. May you once and forevermore be free from the shackles of Moscovites ASAP. Slava Ukraini and Heroyama Slava. Sorry if I mispronounced. Also from Vasi, donated Canadian $12.96. Happy holiday and Slava Ukraini greetings from Bulgaria. And we have a few super chats, if I may continue. Dick,
Yeah,
we
please.
have from Donny Boy 73 Canadian $5. Happy Independence Day to all Ukrainians, Slava Ukraine. And from level 70 for Canadian $6.99. How will the Lend-Lease agreement help Ukraine? Will it speed up weapon deliveries?
Thing is, we have much more infantry than Russia does. That's a fact. We have like 3-4 times, like something like that. Something like that. I cannot tell you the like exact numbers, but there's a lot of them. The only problem is that in 21st century, we don't fight with just people. It's a war of machines. And unfortunately, orcs have much more of those machines than we do. And we have, like, we are almost prepared. Again, that's like my own opinion, okay? We were discussing this today with our friends, and we came to the conclusion that we are basically prepared to counterattack and return our territories, and we can do that physically because we have bigger advantage over our enemies in terms of our infantry. We have a lot of them. Why Russia have lost why they failed their invasion in Kyiv, Chernihiv, Sumy, Poltava, Irpin, Hostomel, and Mykolaiv, and Zaporizhia, and Dnipro, and Kharkiv, and other cities, major cities, because they did a very stupid thing. According to all kinds of field manuals, you cannot attack successfully in case you don't have like 3 times more, at least 3 times more infantry than your enemy does. So they used like 150,000 men attempting to capture and take control over major cities inhabited, like populated by millions of people, not only like hundreds of thousands of servicemen and policemen, but also civilians and territorial defense, and I mean civilians who own weapons. That's why they failed, and they had to retreat from all of the northern Ukraine. So we have advantage at this point over the Russian army in terms of numbers. Unfortunately, we don't have enough machines, and I'm talking about artillery and aviation and etc., etc. So if we try to take those territories back at this point, using only our infantry armed with assault rifles and grenade launchers, that will not help. That might help because that's exactly how Soviet Union have won in Germany in the World War II. They basically buried their enemies under the pile of their own bodies. But that's not our style. We don't do that. So we need machines in order to minimize our own losses. And you saw that Ukrainians use foreign machines and weapons very, very efficiently. So we need more of that, and we need them enough so we could have, even if not advantage in terms of number of machines, but at least some kind of equal number. And the infantry will do the rest.
Yeah.
The Russians also, I mean, they don't maintain their equipment at all, and I think maintenance is something that is so. Whenever you have a military column, usually the last third is dedicated to maintenance. You want to be able to replace as much as 25% of that column in spare parts. They didn't bring any of that in their original column that was headed to Kyiv. They also don't do things like rotate the tires. Take the vehicles. Actually, you have to drive them. You actually have to drive them, or else you get dry rot in the tires. They started having the tires just separate, literally on their way to Kyiv, and that's what caused the constant slowdown. They didn't have the replacements, and they had switched. Actually, I guess, believe it or not, they used to use Goodyear, believe it or not, and then they switched to Chinese tires, which are much more susceptible to dry rot. All the hoses, all the parts, and so literally the whole column was falling apart on its way to Kyiv. And they have multiple other problems. They don't have a lot of the weapons. They're now relying on basically T-72s, the old 80s and 90s tanks. They are running out of crews that know how to man them because the Ukrainian army is killing them all, and nobody who has any experience and knows what a war looks like actually wants to go to Ukraine. So none of these people have the combat experience. The downside, and this is the problem, the problem is, so long as Putin is in power, and so long as he wants to continue the battle, he can, as long as both of those things are true, and he can continue to throw a huge number of people at it, and he doesn't care about the losses. He just doesn't care because of the propaganda. When we were speaking earlier, it reminded me of that joke too about the free speech. It's like, two Russians, or there's a whole bunch of Russians, and one of them stands up and says, "I want free speech. We don't have free speech," and the other one goes, "Shh, you can't say that." And the next day, both of them were gone. And the problem is, so long as I think one of the most brilliant moves is actually calling the mothers of, and Ukraine is doing a number of things which I think is very difficult. It's very difficult emotionally, which is they're letting as many of these soldiers go as they can get away with. They're letting them go, and then these soldiers going back and telling people, "Hey, listen, this isn't what you think it is." And short term, that's got to be really difficult when you see what they're doing. They are absolutely committing war crimes, and some pretty heinous war crimes. And when they can, they're letting them go. Sometimes they're just calling their mothers. It's like, what's the number for? And they just call. And you see the YouTube channels filled with these calls. But the good news is more and more people are. I mean, the word is getting out. It's slow. I think the only hope Ukraine has is Putin being removed from power. That's it. Because while I agree with you that Ukraine is doing an absolutely incredible job above and beyond what any military expert I've spoken with ever expected, the reality is Putin can keep this up for 20 years if he wants to. Dear God, I hope the U.S. stays as invested as it is. It's tough. It's tough to do. Yeah.
When you say, Putin can keep it up, absolutely valid point. But do you think it becomes more and more pressing for NATO and everybody to start taking a more heavy-handed role as time goes on and stuff? Like, wouldn't there be a limit, you think?
No, not if he doesn't invade or threaten any other countries. No. The only
That's
justification.
Bullshit.
Well, listen, if a NATO country wants to get involved without involving NATO, they can do that because they can act offensively. NATO is going to stay out of it unless he threatens a NATO country. They're absolutely going to stay out of it.
I get that totally. But I have said previously on the show, and I think you might agree with me, maybe it's time for NATO to be more than a members-only club at times. Maybe it's time for the collective correctness to say, you know what, membership or not, this is just bullshit.
No, I could not disagree more. And the reason is because now I see where you're going, and I agree with where you're trying to go. I agree with where you're trying to go. I just think we need to do it another way. NATO has to have these rules. It absolutely has to have these rules, or else you're looking at World War III, which was the sole objective of NATO.
Yeah, I get it. I get.
So what they need to do is they need to let Ukraine in. That's what they need to do.
Yeah,
they need to let other countries in. They need to follow their own rules. They need to play by these rules, but they need to be letting other countries in.
We've got to welcome the Sarcastic Barman. He made it, buddy. How you doing?
Hello. The only reason my hand is raised, it was for something Nick said about Russia being able to keep this up for 20 years, which I agree with the manpower and things. But Nick, things that I've seen is Russia's having trouble rearming some of the more sophisticated weaponry and things like that because of the embargoes, the supply issues, and other countries obviously not wanting to deal with them.
Yep.
Do you think that's obviously going to hamper long-term war efforts?
No, because so they are, I think, more than 90 days behind on being able to manufacture bullets just for standard rifles. So they're diving into their stores now. The bullets will essentially, as long as they're taken care of well, they'll last forever. The problem is they probably haven't been taking care of them well. But they can start manufacturing the basics. And again, here's the problem. We don't think of it this way, but Putin is perfectly willing to throw bodies at this for as long as it takes. And he doesn't care if they're all armed with pistols fighting Ukrainians. He doesn't care. So, and again, I gave the caveat and very explicitly earlier, so long as he remains in power. He's aware people are trying to remove him out of power. There's this new potential terrorist group within Russia that killed what's his name's daughter and attempted.
Daughter,
So, and I mean, look, somebody posted on LinkedIn a poster wanted dead or alive. This was one of the oligarchs for which I have to believe violates a LinkedIn user policy to like put the $1 million Putin. But nonetheless, our sanctions against Russia have targeted the oligarchs more than Putin, and there's a reason for that. We know we can't hit Putin economically in any meaningful sense, but if his oligarchs don't care about him, they care about what he provides to them. They care about money. There's no loyalty outside of that money. So if Putin's actions have made it impossible for the oligarchs to live the lifestyle that they want, they will start to find a way to remove him. And in Russian tradition, that means either escorted out kindly and under house arrest for the rest of your life, or deposed with extreme prejudice. In either case,
Caesar.
So long as he's in power, he can continue to throw bodies at this as long as he likes, and he will. I don't see him stopping for anything at this point. So either he's removed from power, or there ends up having to be some kind of negotiated settlement, because as strong as the Ukrainians have been, and it is one of the most inspiring things I've seen as long as I've been alive.
Damn right.
The reality is he can and will continue to throw, and they're breaking out. So they're breaking out the T-72s. They're breaking out tanks from the 80s. They're breaking out the T-80s. I don't think they even go to T-90 at this point. They're breaking out all these old tanks because they can't fix any of the new tanks, and nobody knows how to drive them anyway. So they're breaking out all these old tanks, and 50% of those don't even work. They try to turn them on, and they will not turn on. But he's got millions of them. If Jesus, I could be pulling this number out of my ass. I want to say 14 million tanks. That doesn't sound right, so don't quote me on that number. But he's got enough tanks. He's got plenty of tanks, and he's just going to keep throwing shit at it. So the question is, what's going to stop him? Because he will continue, and there are not enough Ukrainians alive to fight if he decides to do that. And it looks like that's what he's decided to do. So there has to be some other, that's why this is a multi-pronged approach. Really what it is the Ukrainians have one job. That's to stay alive until Putin gets a bullet to the head or some shit like that. And they've been doing better than that. The Russians have been fucking running, but they can keep it up forever. And, the sanctions aside, which I think the sanctions have actually worked much better than people talk about, the reality is
true enough.
That's it.
If the sanctions weren't doing so well, why would Russia trying to be playing Canada with that whole turbine for gas? And now we've got Chancellor so-and-so over in Canada right now working on a new thing where we're going to be sending gas and stuff over and whatnot to try to get around this and what, it's definitely in play. Absolutely. I wanted to pose a very serious question to everybody on the panel, but before we do, we haven't triggered the grubby dance yet, and we have to give Mr. Poutine, tiger riding champion of the world, his fucking dues. So here we go. Fucking guy. Let's see. We'll start with Fallacy Dave on this one. If you had the luxury and pleasure of dancing on Poutine's grave, what alcohol would you choose to drink during said dance?
Oh, damn. I mean, I don't drink, so that's awkward. Sorry, barman.
Have a soft drink.
I think you could make an exception.
Profit.
I think you could make an exception for Putin. I would.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. You know what? If I'm going to throw an idea out there, if I could just throw an idea out there, I'm just going to squash your question. Sorry. Who replaces Putin? Is that a scarier prospect?
Right now the ostensive replacement is, I think he's the current head of the FSB. One of Putin's right-hand guys, an assassin, former assassin, just like Putin, terrible fucking guy. But the problem is Putin still thinks like a Cold War guy. So he still sees all of this in terms of Cold War. The U.S. is the enemy. Anybody who replaces him is probably going to be younger and more willing to actually, quote, work with NATO and other countries. So anybody who replaces him will probably be somewhat better. They won't be ideal, but they'll be better than him, almost certainly.
It's Putin's failing health that scares me the most. Seems like gasoline on the fire all the time.
From my standpoint, I'm speaking on behalf of Ukrainians who live together with Russians, like side to side with Russians for centuries, and were occupied by Russians for like 70 years. The last time. Putin is not the biggest problem in Russia. Collective Putin is their biggest problem, unfortunately. Unfortunately, Russians were raised as imperialist people, so there's just a small chance that somebody like younger and more open to the rest of the world will take his place. Obviously, it's gonna be some kind of oligarch. Obviously, it's gonna be probably even Kadyrov himself, because we had this poll in Russia, and a lot of Russians actually would vote for Kadyrov. It's another problem. I mean, I literally don't know how to solve such things as, working with such a big number of brainwashed people, because, again, Russians spend enormous money on propaganda. And in order to be efficient in fighting this propaganda and, making Russian people start fact-checking and make them acquainted with informational hygiene and stuff like that, we need to spend at least equal amount of funds every year as Russia does. We don't have that money, and we don't have as efficient tools, channels as they do, because literally Russia invented propaganda, and they are best in this field. They you cannot compare them to any other country in this regard, unfortunately. So they raised a lot of brainwashed people, and it's like, again, I'm not a specialist in bringing those people back to life, in healing those people. But I think that it's not enough just to tell them the truth, because they will not believe it. I think
that can't be done.
Yeah, it requires some kind of psychological rehabilitation, probably.
They've had a secret police organization since before the czars. I mean, it is hundreds of years old, and they've learned to lie to everybody all the time because it creates plausible denial. They don't believe their government, they don't believe their neighbors, they don't trust anybody, and that is a generational thing. And sorry, I think I stepped on you. I didn't mean to. I mistook a pause there. Apologies.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not enough to just tell Russians that, dude, you've been lied to, because his whole perception of the world is built on this foundation. They believe that it was so good in Soviet Union. People lived a rich life. They sent a person to the space 8 years before the toilet paper was introduced in Russia. That's fact.
I believe it.
Yeah, and they were wiping their asses with like newspaper. It was normal. I mean, but yeah, they already sent a person to the outer space. Oh my God. So it's not enough to just tell them the truth. Probably we need to have some kind of preparation. We have to prepare them to enter the civilized society somehow. I have no idea in this regard, unfortunately.
That's a tough one.
My suspicion is that the capitalism will actually do it, and the reason is because free markets. One of the reasons China had the ability to wipe out the U.S. in 2007. All they had to do was call in their debt. We were in a free fall in the economy. U.S. would be gone. The U.S. economy would have collapsed. There would be no United States of America anymore. Why didn't they do it? Well, because then they lose all the money that they've invested in the U.S. And so they don't want to do that. And the more free trade with China, it's like when we trade, the reality is in Tehran, they love American products over there, and most of the people over there don't hate us. It's the government that we have an issue with, and it tends to work out that way. Now, people still say that Russia is communist or socialist. It's not. It's capitalist. But what they didn't, they changed over their economy, and they benefited from it dramatically, and they're aware of this. What they didn't change over was their politics, and they still, the idea was that at free elections. That didn't work out. Now you've got Putin. That has to be solved, but I think that gets solved by more open trade. The internet's already done a huge, think of what the internet's done for their awareness of what's actually happening in Ukraine, despite Putin's attempt to stop it. So it's about increasing the free flow of information. They're going to think, if anybody comes in and tries to say, oh, this is how you determine the truth, they will balk at it, and they will assume that it's propaganda that's lying to them. So it's one of those, you have to let them discover it for themselves, but they will be interested in doing that if at the end of that rainbow is a better economy, better lives for their kids, because they're just as interested in that, of course, as everybody else is. And that's where it's been headed. But Putin knows what he's doing, and he's been in charge. So, I think it's going to happen, but slowly, and it isn't going to happen in time to help Ukraine.
Yes. The only problem is that we still have to find a way to fight the results, the influence of this propaganda. Remember at the beginning of the show, I told you about the 90s. They were tough, and people who went through 90s, they became really, really tough. I'm talking about such people as Polish, Russians, Belarusians not so much, and Ukrainians, people in the post-Soviet space. Those are tough, especially Polish. Those are very, very tough. And Russians don't really care if they're going to live among piles of shit, having nothing to eat, and stuff like that. And they don't care if their kids will have to live in such conditions. They have this motivation to live like this because, first of all, they are told that they are very spiritual. They are chosen by God. They have this open soul with huge cosmos inside, and they don't really care. They they also believe that, yeah, they went through 90s. That's why literally there's nothing to damage their happiness. Oh my God. So they don't care. They don't care if they only have like some spoiled bread and water to for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Their biggest motivation is that they will make others live even worse, and they are motivated because this propaganda that is spread by all kinds of Russian media convinced them that first of all, everybody wants to destroy Russia. America wants to conquer their I don't know, pit toilets or whatever, and they are convinced that Ukrainians don't deserve to exist as an independent state. They literally don't deserve it. This, they literally must be turned into Russian puppets or Russian colony, and they don't deserve to live better. Who gave them such right? It's wrong, because Russians live in shit, and everybody else will also live in shit. So that's like part of their ideology. That's why we have to prepare them somehow. Again, I have literally no idea because it goes outside of my imagination.
I think some of that's changing. I think you're right. I think they truly think. I mean, they look at Ukrainians as not even really human. They're almost subhuman. It's very similar to how African Americans were viewed in this country. 50 to 80 years ago. So it's they have that view. They also, I agree with their endurance for suffering, but I think that's a model that's changing, and I would put as evidence for that the number of people who have successfully protested. They've resigned in protest. People who have been there have been so many people protesting in Moscow that they can't jail them anymore, and to do that in Russia of all places suggests to me that there has been a foothold of westernization that has come in and is there. It's not as strong as we would have liked it. Anyone who says that it's sweeping the country is ignoring all of the facts that you just said. I think you're right, but I think it is changing, and I think that's evidence that they really can be, for lack of a better word, and it's a bad word, but I'm going to say it anyway, westernized. And I think it's cracking. It's not where we'd like it to be, but I agree with, for the most part, everything else you've said. I think you're right.
Yes, and by the way, this is exactly the reason why Russian media are so much against westernization. They already start considering stopping educating their kids in English language. For example, in the occupied Crimea, Aksionov, which is chief of their occupational administration in Crimea, he said that in Crimea, kids will not study English language anymore. They believe that westernization, because it's a progress, it's a road to nowhere. and it does not correspond to Russian inner world, you know.
Their God-given belief in superiority.
Yeah, exactly. So they talk a lot about returning back to their roots and shit like that. It's funny, of course. It's very funny sometimes, considering, like, remember that video with the guy fighting with the Orthodox cross? Yeah, so things like that. But again, it's very dangerous because it's a foundation for such thing as fascism, returning back to their roots, rejecting progress, rejecting learning other languages because it's a different culture, and we want to keep our clean culture, our pure race.
That's right.
Okay, and stuff like that. And of course,
it's so Nazi sounding, Starsky. It makes me fucking sick.
Kinda, yeah. But don't forget that you are Nazi and me are also Nazi, because we stand against Russia. Everybody who stands against Russia is a Nazi, and he has to be killed.
Wow.
Well, it's very North Korean as well. The nothing. What was it? Nothing to envy. The concept that things are so great in North Korea because they're living under essentially their god deity, that they have nothing to envy from other countries, and it's a psychological phenomenon of brutally repressed people, which is they have to find their dignity and have to find their reason for living in something. And then once they start to see sort of freedom, it's very difficult to give up the whatever they had that was getting them through it. I was in Russia for about a month right before the Soviet Union fell. And I remember we went to the McDonald's there because we really American diet. We couldn't eat much of what else was available. And we go to the McDonald's, and the line for that was 8 blocks long. 8 blocks long. And we got into the back, and we're like, okay, we'll wait. It'll be half a day, but we'll wait. As soon as they heard us speaking English, they wanted the Americans to be so proud of. They were so proud. They wanted the Americans to be so impressed with it that they. Actually just moved us to the front of the line. Nobody objected. This was just the cultural. It's like, no, the Americans are going to see how wonderful this country is. And, the less you have, the more you have to find a way to be proud of what you have. And the Russians are an immensely proud people.
Falsely so, but yes.
I have to make the comment for Starsky saying before about Russians wanting to return to their roots and their past and bits like that. As a jokey sort of comment, does that show the lack of education in the Russian system that shows that they don't understand that for a long time before the USSR, they were one of the most imbalanced countries in regards to wealth in the history of Europe? That so many of the population was serfs with no rights and everything like that. Is that what they want to return to? Or do they want to return to the USSR where, again, the imbalance of wealth was ridiculous, with the people in power being far excessive of everyone else in terms of monetary wealth, luxury and everything like that, where I believe it was, I can't remember which premier's name or whatever, and he was showing his mum round his house, and he's saying, "Look at my house, mother, aren't you so proud of me? I've done all this." Going, that's lovely, but what if the Soviets come back to power because the imbalance was there, shown that they didn't understand? And I get the idea that they've had 70 years of communist dominance. They had the czars before that, where little information was spread, the education levels were crap, and they've had this little window of time before Putin really took power, and it's just fecked them over more. And if we did if there was an overthrow of Putin within Russia and things like that, are we still looking at another 25, 30 years before they become, I don't want to say catch up because that sounds horrible, but become more westernized? I hope that comment made sense. I've been drinking a while.
you gotta learn one thing about Russians. So they believe they're superior. They believe they have best writers ever, best classical writers, even despite the fact that most of them were repressed and killed. They have like best sportsmen ever. They have strongest tanks, best philosophers, best religion, which is actually interesting because you know that Russians love their Orthodox Russian Church, despite the fact that 50% of Moscow's population are Muslim, and those Muslims are sent to Ukraine to fight for this church. So whenever they baptize their soldiers, they also baptize their Muslim soldiers. They don't care. And other things. So they believe they're superior. And that's the reason why they give no shit about like United Nations. Because yes, current borders are defined for every country that's in international legislation and stuff like that. But I don't care because the rest of the world is wrong. Russia knows the way. We know that we are right. We know that we are best. And shit like that. That, again, that's like one of the foundations of fascism. You gotta read Benito Mussolini, like, just to understand why the fascism is based on such things, and basically, you know what it leads to. Whenever you start,
if you're far enough right and far enough left, they overlap so much.
Yeah, exactly. There's like one one thing that is very, very wrong. It doesn't bring anything good. It's when you think that you are superior. Like, again, United Nations, when you think about collective security, about global security, it brings some kind of results. But when you start thinking about your own country in regards to like other countries, like our country on the first place, come on, global security doesn't work like this. You gotta have like collective decisions and stuff like that. We live in such a globalized world that, I don't know, probably soon there will literally be no borders. Like, borders will be only, in our minds mostly. And
they'll be linguistic.
Yeah, mostly. That's all.
Well, even that'll vanish. I mean, English is already so
eventually
dominant.
Yeah. All you have to do is look at the quote unquote Orient. Sorry if that makes me old, but very many people from the Orient jump on the internet and are damn good at English. Why? Because they want to interact with everybody, man. It's just how it works,
Of course. During our evolution as human species, we came to a conclusion that you can only have some kind of progress. You can only achieve some kind of progress by cooperating with other people on this earth, by having friendly relations, by having trade, efficient trade. You have resources, they have resources. You gotta trade.
Starsky,
you have knowledge, they have knowledge. You gotta exchange.
Imagine in a worldly populace that work together for the world, if the scientific and engineering people of the world came together to work on things collectively, how much better off would we be? I don't know if we'd be more advanced, but our advances would not have so many, 20 years later, looking back on it, we fucked that up,
We'd be farther in space, that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree on that, because the thing that makes us develop is unfortunately war, because war is our main engine that makes us evolve and develop. That is wrong. if we put all our efforts into developing science and shit like that, it will be so much better. Take Japan. So Japan, they had pretty tough times after the World War II, but because they only had and again, it's on the level of kindergarten explanation, okay? Because they didn't have the army, they had only the Japanese self-defense forces, right? That's not an army in our general sense. They put all their efforts into developing their science. So look at Japan today, okay? Why don't we develop our science rather than developing tanks and missiles and shit like that?
War is one of those awkward things that I've dropped a headphone. That having the ability to better protect your soldiers and defeat your enemy better is such a pusher for technology when it comes to medical research, armor research, explosive research, anything like that, that nothing is ever going to compare to it, which is a shitter of human existence, to be fair, put it bluntly. It would be lovely if we could all get together and go, yes, we can do this all in one go and we can work together. Someone did put in chat about CERN. Alison, there we go. Alison Tomasic. Look at CERN, all the countries working peacefully together. I think it helps that it's in a European area that we can do this because it's a peaceful area. But come to the border areas, so you come to Russia, China, basically all of Africa can, at times, not all the time, be a slight pain in the ass for development, progress, and things like that. But again, it's going to be those areas that push certain fields of science, research, technology in a way that peaceful development won't. I wish AB Science was here. Could be a perfect one for him because he'd go on about how he's said in the past, when he goes to publish a research paper, people, before he gets to publish it, get to challenge the paper because they're after that research grant money on the next paper and they're working against each other. That even in peaceful times, there's a big head-on collision with scientists and stuff like that. I'd say head-on, it's probably an over-exaggeration, of people after this money. Whereas in war times, if someone says, I've got this idea of doing this, they might go, okay, we'll give you some money and we're going to give you some money. You can both have some money. You can both go after the same sort of thing. We'll see who gets there first because there's the desperation of war. And it's a shitter, but war helps science.
Well, I think competition does. Whether that competition has to come from war or not, I think there are more reasonable means. But I do agree that most of the best advancements. Sorry, I'm coming in and out to make dinner, but I can still hear you guys. So I'm just sort of listening.
Can I quickly reword it then? That war provides the money
and the expedience. You know, people are willing to, do a little bit more of sitting down. Okay, that sounds like a plausible idea that we can fund right away, and the money gets allocated quicker and more densely, and therefore shit gets done.
Well, I kind of agree, but the thing is, there's always you still do have to. That money needs to get paid. You end up having to recover so much. So much science is lost. Much. So I think it's the problem is mistaking the fits and starts, right? So war is a huge driver of scientific innovation, but the amount of recovery that needs to go into a civilization after it's been, to take a look at what it took for Japan, for Germany in particular as the losing side, but for everybody to sort of recover and get moving again. If you can find a way to have a less destructive form of competition that drives the innovation of ideas, I think you can do that and maintain much more consistency. You won't have the huge fits and starts, but you also won't have the recovery times afterwards.
Well, Nicholas, imagine this. Imagine if different
Did you just
countries.
call me? Wait, stop. Did you just call, Nick? Jesus, all my friends call me Nick, and I guess you can too.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. But I do like myself. I can't actually do that one. Okay. Anyway, I just realized I was about to dox myself really fucking hard. Anyway, imagine if the scientific communities of the different countries competed in competitions like sports do for World Series and championships and stuff. I really think that we could spur a few fires and bring things a little bit forward now and then in that light, right? Friendly competition, but friendly, not death.
It's about like money and willing to rule, this urge to rule. There's different kinds of expansion: cultural expansion, scientific expansion, trading, economical expansion. Those are most efficient kinds of expansion. Like cultural expansion, why people learn English around the world? Because it's easy to learn. And it doesn't have like so many suffixes and things like that, like in German language. I'm not trying to insult German people. It doesn't. It's not as crazy as Ukrainian language, because in Ukrainian language every single thing has a gender. Oh my God! And you have to learn that English is easy. That's why it's available for everybody, and things like that. So when you choose military expansion, it sucks. It's not even about competition. It's about this urge to rule, but you can rule in different ways. And if you want competition, if you want to check if like who's the strongest man, get your gloves, step into the freaking ring, and there you can decide who's stronger.
Yeah.
That's that easy,
Exactly.
So,
you want to pull this.
Sorry, Dick.
No, but that's it, Charlie. Because exactly, I'm sure we're going to say the same thing. If that's your fucking blowhard, brouhaha position, then man up and do it yourself, bitch.
Yeah, I was just going to say, going back to what Starsky was saying, when he comes to the sports, Russians cheated absolutely everything, even speed walking.
Oh my
God. Yeah. By the way,
why can't we settle all these disagreements using the medium of dance?
Dance, yeah. As for the warfare, for example, I totally support Stephen Hawking, who said that
he was a great dancer.
I was going to say,
he was not a good dancer. Unfortunately, it's a bad joke. Okay, but Stephen Hawking said that if he was asked about aliens once, and he said that probably aliens would like to destroy us. So, like in my opinion, we would better prepare for meeting aliens and develop weapons to meet those guys, because they will probably be much more they will be worse than everybody else. So that's my opinion.
I think it's a good one. Before we get further, because I know there's a couple jumping in there. Nick was just right about to. I got to get Claire for a couple of shout outs, and then Nick, I'm coming right at you. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Dick. We do have a few super chats here. We have Tessa Levoix for euro, $5 euro. Humans in generally usually don't react to cold facts. A method called street epistemology can be recommended. And that is a wonderful stream that I believe was just earlier today.
Yes. We should bring. Okay. Sorry, Claire. I'm going to interrupt you. We're going to bring Fallacy Dave in to explain that a little bit better, because he is a participant on said stream, and it's an awesome show.
Sure thing. So the act of street epistemology is something coined by Peter Boghossian, and he wrote a manual for creating atheists, which is something that a lot of us tend towards within these circles as to how to have a conversation with somebody you disagree with, which is completely contrary to Twitter. So the way that you do it is just in a Socratic method, in a Socratic way. Distance yourself completely from having any emotion for the claim. Somebody else comes forward with a claim, I believe X, and then you come forward and say, okay, so what's your confidence level in this claim? What would make your confidence go up? What would make your confidence go down? If I could propose to you a certain set of evidence, would your confidence change? And then after what could be a 5, 10, 20-minute conversation, you try to aim for them to say things like, I don't know. And then they're starting to think. And if there's a little pause in the conversation, you're much more likely to be having those sorts of self-doubts. And so you just sit there and you let them think about it. And that silence is the best thing. It's not just two people sitting there in silence, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great stream. Just quiet.
Yeah, it's a very, very good back and forth chat. It's not frantic like our pub chat where everybody's just bouncing off each other really hard. It's much, thought out opinions and very, very good streams. Very good stuff. So Claire.
Yeah, thank you. Second, we have 20 sec from Sweden from Tobias Eriksson, and also a new member from Tobias Eriksson. Welcome to Shield Apprentice.
Yay! Thanks.
Right.
Welcome to the family, buddy.
And lastly, we have another super chat from Tessa for another €10. Respects for Ukrainian freedom fighters and also any Russian dissidents. By the way, I have met Russian LGBTQ people. They have good reasons to hate Putin's tyranny. Slava Ukraini, greetings from Finland. Thank you, Tessa.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
The reason why they have reasons to hate them is because they are being repressed in Russia very, very much. So, for example, I quoted their biggest propagandist, Kiselyov. Was it? Yeah, Kiselyov. So he said it was on a TV. He said that literally, gays in Russia should be so gays in Russia, we should treat them as people who cannot donate their organs, and their hearts must be burned in crematoriums. Like he said that on a TV, you can find it on a YouTube with subtitles, and people applauded that. They're like beaten and repressed and stuff like that, again because Russian Orthodox Church thinks that it's a sin. That's why they must be killed. So yeah, they have their
Starsky. When you do that, it fucking kills me every time, man.
Man, it's contagious. I mean, today I made like 2 sketches for my channel, and I've been speaking like that whole fucking day. Yeah, and that's the reason. So the reason they hate West, one of the reasons, is because they think that America will come to Russia and make everybody gay. And people like, man, I swear. And people like, oh my God, we got to stop this. So it works like that.
I'm having a motherfucker of a problem here. My microphone just fell. I don't know if Barman was laughing at me or not or what, but what the hell?
No, I was the idea that Russia are worried. Well, certain people in Russia are worried that Americans are going to come make them gay. Just, geez, that's. I mean, I know that Russian gays, lesbians, the whole LGBT community are very much persecuted in Russia. But that idea that the normal people think that is just that's that's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That just shows the level of. I need to pick the right word to not offend people. I'm not going to get the right word because
I know it. I know it.
Go on.
Here, I can do it. It's a belief in.
Could it be?
No, I was going to. My word started with S and ended with Y and rhymed with duplicity. Yeah, that'll do. Do rhyme with duplicity. And yeah, but started with an S, obviously. And just the feck. No, I can't.
So Russians they created this meme word for calling Europe. They call it gay rope.
Hold on.
Yeah, so gay rope is a common word in Russia to call Europe, basically. Yeah, and they believe that America will use all their influence to turn Russian people into gays, and this will put an end for Russian nation. And even more, America made this plan because evil America.
Sounds like one of our constant targets on here, Arwen.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. Arwen the flat earther, who literally slaps himself and yells at his viewers for money and gets $20 in the coffers and realizes that he can go and get like 3 or 4 ounces of alcohol and a couple of puffy puffs of pre-rolled herbalization or whatever floats his boat. I don't know what it is, but he's really happy. And then the next morning he wakes up and has coffee and he gets angry at everybody until they give him money again. It's just the most ridiculous. It's a ridiculous experience, but can you imagine the existence itself living it? Right, Nick?
Yeah, and he supported Putin too, and of course, and just like that, everything that he doesn't like, which is everything, is gay. So yeah, he's a mature one.
Yeah. So.
Well, I hate to cut you. I'm going to need to get going. So, but it was, oh dear Lord, I'm trying to take off my glasses without poking myself in the eye. Starsky, it was marvelous to meet you, and I'm going to hit up Vic to get your contact information because I think we would like to talk to you. But thank you guys so much, and I had a delightful time. So thank you,
Nick.
Thank you so much, Nick. It was nice to meet you.
Nick, before you go.
Yes,
Do you think we're looking that if Putin went 20 to 30 years before Russia caught up with the West in terms of politics and generalizations?
80.
80. Wow.
I think we're looking at 80. And then, 80. That's going to be my call.
Fair enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Nick, I'm so glad you joined us. And for everybody watching in the live chat, I'm dropping his link right now. Get over there and sub Nick Lamar Sutter for the In Time show. And if you want to hear more of that intelligent, actually somebody who's paying attention and knows what's going on, perspective on things, get over there and sub him right now. Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, we
Nick.
we know he does a great show and pub chats a load of shit. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. Now fuck off.
Bye, Nick.
My first time meeting Nick. Oh wait, he's gone. I call him Nicholas now. No, he was awesome.
Yeah, he's good.
I'd love to see more of him. I wish I got time to watch some of these shows.
He's going to be joining us a bit going forward on a couple of shows, actually. Yeah.
I like him. He is good.
Yeah, he's a really good guy to hang out with.
He won't be on pub chat though, will he?
Well, if he acts like that on pub chat, you'd probably kick him right the fuck off, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we don't want to lower the standards, do we? Really, honestly.
So back to my poignant question. If you were to dance on Putin's grave, what alcohol would you drink? Sarcastic Barman, brandy. I would like to hear you. What?
French brandy.
Oh, land-burning communist. Give me the brandy.
Well, French brandy, because I'm going for I want something to honor Napoleon for his fuck up of invading Russia. And I think that's the least I can do for him. He got to Moscow, no one was there, and then he burnt the fucking city down around him and fucked up his army that would have taken over all of Europe. So I think French brandy's the best thing to drink in that case. As a British person looking back at that sort of time, I think, well, Russia eventually gave up on Napoleon and said, yeah, let's keep trading with Britain. So I've got to give them some respect for that. And then they fucked up for the 160 odd years after that. Okay.
Yeah, the revolution was great. The outcome took a while to get to. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's the one.
So Mallory's Asylum. If you were to dance on Putin's grave, what glorious type of alcohol are you going to raise to your lips to say, holy fuck, this is amazing? Is she even there? She hasn't unmuted yet.
She's not old enough to drink, that's why.
I would drink a White Russian. Boop.
I just got back and all I heard was a mockery of my voice. What's this?
Here we go. So, Mallory, the war is over. Putin is dead, buried. He's in a grave with a headstone that says, fuck you, you unholy piece of shit. And you're dancing on that grave. What type of alcohol do you choose to enjoy during that dance?
A Moscow. What? You know,
A Moscow Mule?
Yeah.
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 I don't
Ah.
Yeah, that's it. But actually, I would probably drink like chocolate milk or something, like extra chocolate, because it's a job well fucking done. Kudos for Ukraine for standing up and all the other. I'm gonna say this honestly. I have no idea what the fuck's going on, but I am ignorantly blissed in Canada, being like looking outside, eating my ketchup chips, going like, well, shit, man. But in all seriousness, right? But this is serious. But it's serious stuff. Like when I see like clips of like little videos and stuff, or just a little bit, it's how intense it is. It's sad what the world is at the moment and has been, and this is why, I'll let you guys do the mature stuff while I'm drinking my apple juice and try to have a good time. Right?
Sipping on gin and juice.
Leave that. But I'm really glad you're here, Starsky. Like it's a joy just to be chilling and talking and stuff like that, So thank you for. Oh yeah,
yeah,
Boop,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yo, that's what I'm saying though. But yeah, I would be dancing on that, and then I'd be applying my application so I could be the proper dictator of a country, and I'll make great changes so no other country would have to worry. I got this. I got this. Yeah.
It's always a case of careful what you ask for. But let's put a little bit of British accent back into it, and we'll go to Fallacy Dave, because I think his night might be coming to a close soon. So we want to give him a little platform time, and let's roll out the carpet, Dave.
That's very kind. I don't actually know what to say, but yes, I was going to leave around about the same time Nick said he was going to leave, and I thought, I can't leave at the same time. Obviously, he'll just get mad at me.
Oh, rumor. Yeah. Cool.
Yes, what was I meant to say? I'm going to be on Babylon Podcast Saturday, 7 p.m. UK time. And I'm going to be, I don't actually have a clue what I'm going to be talking about, but I do love talking about those guys. Probably some woke stuff. We're going to get some controversial views out there.
Do you have a link?
Oh, I love that look, Dave. Exactly.
Have you got a link yet, Dave?
No.
Fair enough.
When you go to Google their channel, I think it's one of those that sort of their name gets lost in the ethosphere. So Yeah, I'm not sure. I brought colours. I brought yellowy blueness, and nobody else
It is
did because
actually
they
quite
suck.
cool.
But Dick has got blue background, so hey, he's got like some effort going on, you know.
It looks good, Dave. It looks good.
Yeah. Yours is actually authentic, where mine is just pure on bullshit. So got to give you credit, right?
Well, I've noticed if I turn away and look back again, sort of it makes my face either green or pale, and then I stay still, and it goes back to yellow. So
yeah, my camera's about as that fast too. If I move out of shot and then come back in, it takes the focus about 20 seconds and it softens me as if I'm part of the background for a minute, and it's trying to blur me out. It's just like, for fuck's sakes, in 2022 we can't do this yet? What the hell?
I was genuinely getting confused earlier because your picture in the back has a chair. And then you would lean forwards under the desk, and then another chair would appear. And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's your real chair."
Yeah. But it works for the like. See, you can see it right there. See, just see it. You know, because my hair isn't that crisp.
Should use some Pantene Pro V or something like that. So
yeah.
See, there we go. I am now blue, and behind me is now yellowy orange. See, lights.
You're in a real bar. That's not even a green screen, right? Yeah.
No, it's not. I've just got color changing lights and a remote control.
So I've forgotten my own question, but Charlie, if you remember what it is, you can provide an answer. So here we go.
I would drink a White Russian because I like them, and maybe he'd be buried in the snow at the same time.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Maybe I'd drink like 4 of them, and then I could pee my name on it too.
Oh, okay. I want to change my answer then. I want to drink whatever will turn into the best fertilizer for sunflowers when I piss it out, so that sunflowers will grow on Poutine's fucking grave. That's
a good answer.
You got to drink Bud. You got to drink Bud Light for that.
I think you're pissing shit. I think you need to get tested.
Someone in chat earlier, I think when you were asking the question a long time ago now, so they're going to drink 15 gallons of water just so they can piss for a really long time on his grave.
I like it.
I saw that.
So Starsky, yourself, what would be the drink of choice for the moment of that feeling of absolute victory, where yes, the York King himself, fucking what's the asshole's name in Game of Thrones, or not Game of Thrones, The Rings? Sauron. Yeah, Sauron is the white wizard that goes bad, but Sauron is the eye, right? So when Sauron himself is buried, and we're talking under a few rocks to make sure that the birds can still pick at his fucking corpse, what alcohol does Starsky dance on his grave with?
Probably Guinness.
Ooh,
yeah,
good.
Because you were talking about Dave and British accent. So the other day we've been having a lunch with those guys, the EOD specialists who work in Ukraine. They're from Ireland, Australia, and Scotland. And the Australian and the Irish guy asked me whether I had some, problems recognizing their language because of their accent. I was like, no, not at all. And then it reminded me of this funny story. I told them this story actually. So in 2016 we had military exercise with different armies from NATO, and there were instructors from Ireland, and also there were Marines from the United States. and they were discussing something like we were showing our tactics. So we had 2 BTRs. There was like hill, and our guys were advancing towards the op4 positions, and our BTRs were shooting in turns. So this BTR moves out, opens fire, then it moves back. The other one moves out while this one moves back, and they like shoot in turns. And those guys from Ireland, they were from Irish regiment, something like that. And they were very excited, and they were discussing this. And I remember there was this American Marine. He was like standing there, like separate from them, and I started talking to him, and he was like, "I want to tell y'all one thing. Every time I hear those guys talking, it's like I want to ask them, please speak English." I swear, like I literally didn't know that people from like English speaking people from different part of the world have those like issues, but it was kind of funny.
It's because the people who taught them English had that accent.
Yeah, probably.
When I speak Hebrew, I have an Israeli accent because that's what the accent of the person who taught me.
Yeah, and I sometimes I speak this English with Russian accent, and oh my god, I gotta stop doing this because it ruins my brain.
There's Starsky. Last pub chat when everybody was having a real giggle and fucking around, you did that a couple of times, and it got to the point where I think you did it a few times when you didn't actually mean to, because it was literally just coming out.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I do that unconsciously, and that's a very, very bad thing.
Yeah, but buddy, hey, your family here, right? We know better, we know you're just, playing orc fun, I still haven't gotten to everybody with the question of the alcohol in the grave. So, Claire, we haven't asked you,
Okay.
Tiger Rider's been shot in the head. He's been buried under about 7 rocks, and the goddamn birds are picking at his corpse, but you shoo them away, and you're going to have a little dance and have a drink. What are you drinking?
Well, I'm not going to have a little drink, and it's not going to be a little dance. It's going to be cases of Dom Perignon, Ludre, Cristal, and the best 150-year-old cognac we can get our hands on. Okay?
And some haterade.
Oh,
and some haterade. Yeah.
Haterade!
Yeah, Charlie. Haterade, for sure. But yeah. And I'm not going to be there alone either. Like, every day. Like, cases. Like, no. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So, let's see here. DK, did we get to DK already? Because I feel like we haven't had enough nonsense. Did we?
We haven't had enough DK today.
DK, would you like to have another shot over the corpse?
Well, I mean, you're all talking about colors, blue and yellow. My penis is yellow, going to blue. So does that count? As for drink, I would like to drink the fermented tears of all the oligarchs as they watch their lovely boats being auctioned off.
Nice.
I would drink the tears of Nikita Mazepan, the guy who got kicked out of Formula One. Not that he was good enough driver to be there anyway, just because Daddy was all of a sudden unwelcome with his fat checkbook. Fuck you. Daddy's an oligarch, right?
Russian tears, my favorite.
They're delicious.
Yeah. Oh, so sweet. Yum. So let's see. So we haven't done Commander 401. And then, Commander, after you describe your alcoholic experience dancing on the grave of the world's most hated man, we're going to do a slight intro, and we're going to show them a couple of the animations. Commander 401 is our resident Blender expert, and we're going to give you a little teaser of the kind of things we're going to bring to the channel soon coming up. And yeah, I think you might like this. Commander, are you ready? What kind of alcohol would you consume on the grave of the world's biggest piece of shit?
I have no bloody clue because I don't drink, but I most certainly would lay a squat on there. I would most certainly douse it in gasoline and have a right party around it. You know, have you ever seen pictures of people just holding hands around a campfire and singing? I would love to do that around Vladimir Putin's corpse. But really, I don't know that much about alcohol because I've never had a drop.
Yeah, and roasting marshmallows and stuff like that, telling crazy stories.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we got around the room on it. And
What about you, though?
Well, myself? Okay, so I would, if I was dancing on Vladimir Putin's grave.
Dancing with myself, oh.
First of all, I would drink a 12-pack of Molson Canadian beer just to get ready for the event. So as soon as I showed up, I had something to piss all over the man before I actually got to my fucking choice, right? And then I think I would make sure to drink the most alcoholic. Like I think I would go with absinthe, because that way my urine would be so flammable that all I would have to do is light a cigarette when I'm done and flick that wooden matchstick over my shoulder, and I could light that shit up, and I would be responsible for some seriously cool looking stuff on camera. So yeah, I think that's where I'd go.
Here in Ukraine, we have some very tasty beer, and of course, it's very cheap. But what you would like is our медовуха. So in Ukraine, we had analog of Russian vodka. Of course, it was much older than Russian vodka because Ukraine is generally 600 years older than Russia. But it was milder, and this alcohol beverage in Ukraine was called horilka. It was milder, and it was kind of tastier, and it was made with honey. So it's milder than vodka, so you can literally taste it and enjoy its taste. And it comes with honey. It's sweet.
Is it kind of like mead then? Because I think mead's made from honey.
Yeah, something like that. And mead is basically very much similar to mad, which is honey. So yeah, you're gonna definitely love it. So next time you're in Ukraine and it's safe here, welcome to any Ukrainian pub, and yeah, you're gonna love it.
Cool. So, I mean, Starsky, if it was Canada Day, there would be all kinds of people outside drinking and partying and barbecuing food, you know, cooking out on the campfire and so on. And there would be like parties in the streets of so many towns. They would shut down the main street and everybody'd be fucking freaking out and losing their shit. And the cops wouldn't care as long as you weren't being too, you know, out of control. Like public drunkenness is fine as long as you're not an idiot, right? Those kind of things. And it would be cross country in so many towns. It's not funny. So, you know, this year, Independence Day is sadly not the fault of Ukrainian people, but it's being fucked with. But what should it be? What should your fellow Ukrainians be doing today?
So today, if there was peace in my country, today we would go to Khreshchatyk, the main street in Kiev. I don't know how in like other cities. Probably, yeah, they would go downtown, of course. We would have a lot of concerts. We would drink a lot, of course. And I know exactly how it's going to be after our victory. So I'm sure that we are going to celebrate this day together with incredible amounts of guests from all around the world, and that's what personally I would like to see, and I'm sure it's going to be like this, because again, as I said, this day is possible not only because Ukrainians are fighting for their independence, but also because we are supported by the whole world, and
also because you guys are some of the toughest son of a bitches the world has ever fucking seen.
Kinda, yeah. But everybody who watches this video must understand that we are independent because of your support, and I hope that you will like this feeling.
Speaking of that support, we should urge everybody right now, Starsky, right? To contact your local government, contact your senator, your premier for the province, if you're in like Canada and stuff, and so on and so forth. But plead with them to stand up and pledge not just funds, but actual tangible military assets right now. Right? It's huge.
There was this, I don't remember exactly who said this, that we should not push Russia too much because we don't want them to lose their face. And it was like, are you serious? It's like, we should not. Yeah, like we should not push ISIS too much because we don't want terrorists to lose their face.
Dude, that's disgusting to even say. In international motorsport as a whole, you cannot even participate as a Russian. But if you denounce your flag publicly and race under an independent flag, you are allowed to petition to still compete. But in doing so, you better get your punk ass out of Russia fast, because everybody is going to look at you as scum from your home country now. Right?
Yeah.
It's a big deal. But it's the pressure that should be there. You don't get a political or a public and social media platform on the world stage if you're going to proudly present yourself as Russian. I'm sorry. The only way the world will accept you now is denouncing Putin and his fucking regime.
It's sad. It's sad, but watching my funerals of my friends who had kids is also sad, and
a bit more sad.
Kinda, yeah. Again, every time Russians try to explain that we cannot protest against Putin because we will die. Yes. You will die, but otherwise you will not have future whatsoever. So you gotta do something. And until you start doing it, yeah, you gotta face consequences.
You're damn right. Yeah.
In one sentence, if you're not free, you're already dead.
I will
and
take
on that note,
no, but I will take that as an absolute, Dave. I will.
Yeah.
I will.
On that
it's
note,
a huge
head out.
Oh. Okay, we lose one of the good ones. Good night, Dave.
You can finish your sentence though. I'll
Good night, Dave.
jump out halfway through your ramble.
Good night,
In
Dave.
disgust.
and once again, Dick Dawson is disparaging to the rest of us. Dave, one of the good ones is going, Dick slept with us fucks.
Yeah, the only
care,
good one he's got
Starsky.
left.
No,
Take
I
care,
am.
my friend, and be safe.
Yeah,
you
buddy.
too. Obviously, as best as you can, buddy.
Fuck off, Mr. Big One.
Thank you, Dave.
Hey,
Enjoy the day.
I've said it before. Fallacy Dave is pure audible panty remover, and DK, you're just so jealous. It's not funny.
No, I'm just not wearing any panties. So it doesn't work.
Nor am I. I'm naked from the waist down in my own pub. I'm just thinking now, though, Dick's left with only one sensible person here, and it's Starsky. I'm sure if we tried, we could make him go crazy.
No, Charlie hasn't been wasted oid fucking drinking, or neither is Commander.
Charlie's
So,
not
and
left.
Claire,
Fuck off.
Hey,
yeah, and Claire is more than capable. No, I've got a lot to lean
Claire's
on yet
definitely
before
not
it becomes.
sensible.
Yeah.
But you know, with all these non-drinkers in the fucking house, I've been checking the takings on pub chat, and I've been wondering why the takings are down so much. You know, all these people not drinking, I just don't understand it. But but on that note, Dick Dawson, I mean, you're so humble. I mean, you haven't told the world how you've been arming the Ukraine forces, because believe it or not, people, I mean, he doesn't talk about it. He doesn't like to talk about it very much, but he has been sending all his empty bottles to the Ukraine so they can make Molotov cocktails. And apparently, at this moment in time, they have megatons of Molotov cocktails lined up.
Not to brag, but I have sent 247 average beer bottles per day. So, that's a thing.
I was going to say, Dick, you need to stop selling the bottles because you're going to be distracting people from doing work other than making Molotov cocktails. I mean, that's going to be taking, a third of the population just to sort out your beer fucking dependency. Is that a can I see you drinking out of as well? Get back to the fucking bottles, you bitch.
That's also why there's a fuel crisis at the minute.
Okay, hold on. We have a huge shout out to do. I'm going to do this one there, Claire.
Yes,
Samantha Williams in the chat for New Zealand, $20, and she got a hold of me earlier. And at this point, she's very late to the show, and I was already supposed to have said, pass along best wishes and so on and so forth. And I didn't, Sam. Sorry. So I'm going to make a really big deal about your super chat. And I'm going to say the lovely, the amazing, the incomparable, the one that steps up and makes an effort and actually matters. Sam Williams in the chat has said, Happy Independence Day with a massive, you normally do this here. Is that? Yeah. Oh God, it looks like Batman with an attitude. It's supposed to be a heart. Yeah, lots of love. And cool, Sam. Glad you made it. Awesome.
So Samantha have sent me pictures of drawings that her kids made in school, and we posted those pictures on the Facebook page of our brigade, and it was hilarious. It was awesome because yesterday we celebrated the Day of Ukrainian Flag, and as of now there is just a second. There's like 216 likes on the Facebook, and it's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Starsky. She sent me some more shit. I've got some more images and stuff too. I'm saving them not for tonight, but for Friday's show. And I've got some really good stuff. She is so hands-on amazing. And you can only imagine the kids she works with, the way they're going to grow up with such a worldly appreciation and, practical experience for things that, the parents of those kids should be very thankful for Sam Williams, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, 100%. And my commander yesterday asked me, like, are you going to publish something for the Day of the Flag? And I was like, yeah, sure, I have something. And I've sent him those pictures of those drawings. And my commander was so much touched by this. He said, literally, he repeated my words. He said, it's so unusual, and at the same time it's so touching to see those drawings that are not made by Ukrainian kids, because we used to receive like hundreds of those drawings on the front lines from Ukrainian kids. But when you see
but from the world,
it's like when you see the same very drawings, because kids around the world, they make like similar drawings. Yeah, they have similar style, so to say, but like with foreign words, and you realize that those kids are from like the other. Yeah.
Dude, you want to hear a quick little blurb on how popular it is right now? I did a search not 48 hours ago because I wanted to get the proper colors for the Ukraine flag. So I did Ukraine flag HTML, color codes. And within the first search page, I had every page had the codes ready to go, because that's how many people are searching for them right now. Right?
Yeah.
That's a big deal. That means literally Google is so inundated looking for those colors right now that all I had to do was put in the most simple of search and I found it instantly. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I have like 2,000 emails in my mailbox with pictures and videos from all around the world supporting Ukraine. Like, I gotta find an assistant to help me, download and systematize all of those pictures and videos, because I still plan to do, presentation for our foreign community and Ukrainian community. It's gonna be awesome. But like, there's so many of them. I cannot describe what I feel when I see such a huge amount of emails with support from all around the world. It's amazing. So like, whenever some Russian bot in the commentaries says like, nobody gives a damn about Ukraine and West is going to be tired of Ukraine and stuff like that, oh my God, you're so wrong.
It's I'm just sending an email out here. Sorry, everybody. Samantha Williams, check that post. Check that email. I'm sure you got a camera. You don't have to go on camera for the show, but you got a microphone and speakers. You could chat. Come and join us. Wouldn't that be cool? So where do you take, you don't want to take too many pot shots, on the orcs and stuff, but at the same time, it's very easy. What would be what would be the headline that you would like to see in the news that says 1,000 orcs blank, but all the locals are reported as okay? What's the word blank?
Rush the Kremlin.
Turned gay by America.
That fucking takes it, DK.
I pick
You took
analyze.
mine, DK.
Infected by birds that were genetically modified by American and Ukrainian scientists in the lab.
Nah, because birds aren't real. So nothing to do with birds, because as we know,
True.
birds aren't
True.
real.
True. Choked on frogs. That's what it is.
Yeah, they were created by Skynet.
1,000 orcs choke on,
Frog.
and it leaves it blank. It literally leaves it blank on the newspaper because it's too
Each
rude.
other?
Hey! Frogs.
Oh, we got a super chat. Claire could clear up for us
We
here as
do,
we're
we
screwing
do.
around.
Yes.
Wait,
well,
I
you
got
are-
it. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
1,000 orcs choke on Zelensky's dick. There we go. Because it's that big, it needs 1,000 of them. Let's be fair.
Yeah, how the hell I'm going to follow that?
That's called a skewer.
Yeah.
1,000 orcs
And
choke
nobody leaves the room after he did that too. Okay. So anyway, we would like to thank the lovely Samantha Williams again for New Zealand $10 for I still have lots more support to give. I'm glad what small things I can do are helping a bit with a big heart. Thank you, Sam. Lovely. There we go.
And I do one. 1,000 orcs choke on the confetti left over from Zelensky's visit to New York after the war is over. Like a ticker tape parade. Every country he goes to, everyone should just throw him a parade like that and take the high command of the Ukrainian armed forces and just show everyone how much you deserve, for your accomplishments. I mean, likely Russia is not going to be a threat to much of anyone for a good long time, possibly forever, because of you guys. And I wish my government had done a lot more earlier.
Yeah, I bet. And on the other hand, we will have some great harvest of grain years after this war. One of the reasons why Ukrainian soil is so fertile is because there's like a layer as fat as 3 meters of different invaders down there, under the ground, buried from all those centuries that they tried to invade us.
Oh, I've got, oh, is it working? Yeah. Oh, no.
Dick's broken the show, everybody.
Yeah, it wasn't me, but OBS has crashed. It'll just take me a second. Everybody
Okay.
post in the chat. We'll be right back. All right? Yeah.
Did we lose the
But,
stream?
oh, my God. OBS just bombed. It was not me. I did not do anything.
No, we can
No,
start
no.
again. We can do it
Skip
better
all
next
that.
time.
Yeah, there we go. It
Well-
should just kick back in. Yeah, there we go.
Get
All right,
broken.
keep going.
Are we up? Are we up?
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
break it. Fuck, the shit
broke
just
it.
crashed.
Okay.
Anyway,
You
keep
broke it.
going. Leave me
Dick-
out of it. Fuck you.
Dick dropped his tweezers on his network cable again.
Don't go with that.
Your intellect is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect
I
yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
I love Red Alert 3.
I love the Koreans.
Yeah, well, that was Red Alert 3. That was the Japanese.
yeah.
Such a good game.
Now,
Not as good as 2.
All right. So everything's good again. I don't know. I upgraded Windows a couple of times lately, but I haven't upgraded OBS and a few other softwares, so there might be a glitch. What the fuck you gonna do? Hey, wait a minute. My camera is not even on. What happened there? Okay, hold on.
No, it's quite disturbing a picture. There's just that giant forehead in your face that looks like a Frankenstein picture.
Hold on. Everybody, we're all going to lose it for 1 second. Let me refresh the Google thing here. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you guys won't. I will. That's what's going on. Okay. Yeah. Hold on.
No one cares. I'm such an asshole.
Well, we know Dick's fake anyway.
Okay.
He's muted and he hasn't even fucking realized. Fucking knob.
Am I back? Do I exist?
I don't know.
Hello?
There he is. He remembered that
Yes,
he
you are
asked him for
here.
a fucking meet.
There you go, Mallory.
Even I
failed to
remember
take
that shit.
over. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
First take over the stream and then the country. God damn.
Mallory,
That's it.
what
We
would you
tried.
do if you were going to take over Russia? You're the new ruler. What are you going to do?
Oh, fuck.
You can't put a 5-year-old in charge of Russia.
I got it. I
I
have
really do a better job.
ready, right?
You're going to put her in charge?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, but hold on. Give her a
Let-
chance here. Let's hear it.
Let her say.
Yeah.
I want to hear. Come on.
I don't want the stream to go down and such. The list is quite amazing. Friday nights we dance all the time. You know, it's really about us, right? There's gonna be just a little bit of a system, right? Because you got to have rules and such, right? But overall, you have to be part of the community. Either you garden or sew, but everyone has a fucking talent. It's just like wholesome and stuff. But of course, if you break the law, there's no jail time and stuff. You just get to spend 1 weekend with me, and I'll guarantee that I'll straighten you right up in a lickety split. With
I think
with a little bit of manipulation and gaslighting and bullying, and with a little bit of love, you could change the whole world into a better place. And that's it.
Not my vote.
I mean,
Your basic-
yeah, it was the gaslighting for me, Mallory.
I was going to say, Mallory's basic system sounds a bit like communism. Everyone's got a job, everyone does their shit.
Well,
Which
yeah.
sounds like the Russians would fall in line for it perfectly. I
Wait a
think there'd
minute.
be a revolt, though, and they bring back the fucking camps the other
Wait.
side of the Urals and
Hey,
stuff like that. And the
nobody-
idea of having to
Hey.
spend
Yeah, but out
a
of
week with
Nobody-
Mallory.
but
Nobody
my
fucks
thing-
with our Mallory. No
Yeah.
way.
But if you're gonna have a book of dictatorship, I'm a brand new chapter. My dictating and stuff like that is with I watched a lot of Care Bears when I was younger, so it's for the fucking good for everyone. All right, it's just simple as that. Let's go, comrades.
Thing is, no one will try to assassinate Mallory. They'll just take her down with a really strong brownie.
I was going to say a dirty
that'll
comment
work,
after
yeah.
Mallory's dictating comment. I was going to say, well, by the look of your icon, Mallory, it looks like you've been taking far too much dick.
No, what?
Hey,
Well, it's the eyes and the drooling. It was
No.
too good an opportunity to miss.
No, that was the
Are you
weed
saying
brownie
she's
that I
full?
took. What? Fuck you, DKG. This is wow. You
Yeah.
guys need
Well, I
Jesus
don't
inside.
think you've got the energy.
No, I actually don't at the moment. Oh my god. Switch subject.
yeah.
Starsky,
Mhm.
you see how my life evolves? It's a very
Yep.
strange place to be.
Mhm.
You see, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
what happens when you let the good ones go.
Yeah. This is why we need.
Good ones.
Mm.
Guys, do
Oh.
you wanna see
Yes.
a disco? I mean, like dancing in Soviet times.
Yes. Whatever it is, Starsky.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we want to see
Yeah.
it. Please.
Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Right now. Right now.
Speaking of which, okay, Starsky, grab me the link, right?
Yes.
And Commander 401. So we've got a couple of things queued up that we're going to show as well. So first, I'm going to bring up the news clip. Now, check this out. This is where you're going to see the first appearance of the new Shills spaceship in action. We've got serious, huge, there's room in it for all kinds of, and wow, it's got lots of, it's really impressive. You're gonna like this. And the first clip shows us taking business in a news clip because this really did happen. Commander 401 did not do this in Blender in any way, and all of what you're about to see is real. So let me show you how we're doing our part to fight misinformation. That's us in the ship. You see? So
Could I press the launch buttons?
As long as you're over Moscow, you can press whatever you want.
I'll hold. I just want to press that. Kaboom, bitch.
Well, Mallory, you give us the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go for what's coming up. But
really?
Commander 401 in Blender has come up with what I think is everything that we should play right now for Ukraine Independence Day. And Commander, right? It's time to play it, right? So, Mallory, give us a countdown and I'm going to hit that button.
Oh, yeah. 3, 2, 1. Boom, bitch! Yeah!
Ще не вмерла України ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануємо ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу. Що ми браття козацького роду.
Oh, yeah. What do you think, Starsky? That was pretty cool, right?
It was awesome. It was awesome. And I can say that probably one of the most beautiful songs it is.
Commander,
it's like it means a lot to me. It means a lot to Ukrainians who went through Revolution of Dignity, because we had our anthem playing every hour on our Independence Square, and of course every morning on my base we had our anthem playing when we were raising our flag. So yeah,
awesome.
it means a lot. I remember during the revolution times when our line was standing against the line of policemen, and the fight was about to begin, you know, and you were looking at all those gentlemen wearing helmets and holding those batons and shields, and you were thinking, like, yeah, we were singing this anthem, and there are words that we will lay down our bodies and our souls for our freedom. And you would think that's exactly what's gonna happen right now. You know, literally. So yeah, it means a lot to us. It's not just an anthem; it's the anthem.
Yeah, and Commander 401 was unsure if that would be taken wrong with the, you know, the animation with the penguins and stuff and the military posture and whatnot. And I said,
And the
you know
UN
what?
flags.
Yeah, I thought that was just perfect, right? You know, had to be played. Now, we have to get into some of the more serious aspects of life. So I'm gonna defer to the barman here, and I'm gonna say yeast beers and on tap and all the cleanup, or do you just say fuck it and go without?
Proper beers on tap, 100%. We could have this nice beer called Yardbird on. You can't be a proper cask ale.
It's not a commercial, you fucker. Yeah. I'm located just by Wales. It's the Old Mill Pub.
Oh, no. If I wanted to commercialize something, I'll have to move my camera for this one. Because this new pump handle I've got is fucking awesome. Okay,
look
right, hang on. I have to look. Oh,
move slower so we can appreciate it. There you go. Oh, look at that.
The wolf.
That is.
Because I could turn the light on, but the wolf handle on that is fucking awesome.
That looks so cool. Bring it up a bit. I'm only seeing the bottom.
Yeah, I'm just turning the light on.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That looks good, barman.
You got to buy those, or they come with beer.
No, you can't see that.
Barman, your video is upside down. You got to fix it.
Sorry, I forgot you were in Australia. Oh, wait, no, you're not. You're just fucking weird.
Mallory, just fucking with him.
Yeah, he's standing on his head.
It's funny, too, because in the new edit of the intro, when Barman comes in and says, hey, everybody, you know, during the standby, Mallory says, the biggest glober of them all.
It's so true. He's such a dork.
If you don't get the humor in this, you don't understand, and it's too bad. You've got to watch us more because it's actually really funny.
I gotta confess, to me it was a great discovery, like recently, that if you live in South Africa, for example, or in Australia, so in the Southern Hemisphere, during the day, your shadow moves counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this is so awesome. I mean, I never thought about it.
I know that it's the same thing as, you know, at the right time of year, you look up and there's no Big Dipper. It just ain't there.
Damn globe.
How is it even possible? I mean,
you know, Arwen, defend your flat earth, you angry little masturbation loving motherfucker.
It is nice to see no flat earths in the chat, but at the same time, it's like, nah, fuckers. To be fair, I've set up. I had my OBS set up, so I've fucked about with my internet. I was like, I'm gonna do a live stream tonight. Right, let's make sure no one's online because it's Wednesday. No one should be online. It's fucking Wednesday. Fuck, the show's online. Right, let's go and join that shit.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
well, you have to, right?
Oh God, you have to check before, and just in case. And Ukrainian Independence Day has to be done. Fair fucking play. But yeah, otherwise I was looking at a guy called, I can't fucking remember, on Twitter, because Twitter is fucking full of flat earthers. It's ridiculous.
Dude, yeah, you know what just proliferated massive through the Canadian press, like nationally, as well as, you know, the smaller ones that pick it up a day later and regurgitate the stories and stuff, is BitChute and so on are just a collective clusterfuck of conspiracy theories and so on. And I'm reading these headlines and I'm thinking, for the love of God, you people are like 4 years out of touch. Are you kidding me?
Oh, 100%.
Wow. We've been farming the likes of those places to make sure we have original content for how long now, Barman, right?
Oh, fucking so long. Between BitChute and all the other shitty places where they go to do the video because they feel like YouTube's restricting me because I'm talking about flat Earth. No, YouTube's restricting you because you're a racist fucking moron. They don't care about the flat Earth bit. They care about you saying about white people being brilliant or that vaccines don't work or any shit like that.
Dude,
that's what they're pulling you up on.
Dude, let's give an example. Okay, let's pick on Daniel Pratt for a minute. He is one of the most horrific human beings that has ever walked the face of the earth. And every time he calls somebody a fucking pedo loving blah blah and this and that, and his channel gets taken down, what does he blame it on? The fact that he was bringing the truth of flat earth to the masses and they shut him down.
He actually connected COVID to covering up flat Earth.
Yeah,
that's how desperate he was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at Sleeping Warrior. Think how big Sleeping Warrior was 18 months ago in the YouTube community and shit like that. He's now got a channel where he's not got enough subscribers and enough hours to do live streams and has to go to fucking Nathan Oakley's shitty shite to try and get in there. Still hasn't got 1,000 subscribers and can't go anywhere.
Well, you're right. He was pretty big. Are you saying he's been on a diet?
No, he just got so big that his fingers now don't fit on the press live button. I'm horrible. As a fat fucker, I'm horrible. Sorry, come on.
What I don't understand, right, is I have 61 subscribers. But even when I had like 20 subscribers, I could press the go live button. And I could go live. You mean he's got worse traffic than me?
I'm guessing so because he's not done a single live fucking stream.
When you're pre-monetization and you go live, if you get flagged more than a couple of times, holy fuck, are they on your ass? Right? That's what happens. Because like we play songs that get a copyright share if you upload them. But we're live and YouTube doesn't know what to do. So it panics and blocks us. Right? There is 2 sets of rules. You got to be more careful when you're live just because they don't know what's coming next. They haven't pre-screened it. You know, we've had to live with it for a while. We get screwed over all the time, but you know, you got to be who you got to be, man. We don't care.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you say as well. You can't just like come out and say cunt.
No.
You can't do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not unless it's Tuesday.
You know, that son of a bitch was grown up a Welshman, and as such, he has no problem with his pecker being lodged in the mouth of a sheep for a little more than 20 minutes.
And by the way, that particular douchebag, Daniel Pratt, he actually thinks that Putin is a secret ally of Flat Earth.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a scary topic right there, Starsky, right?
On, no,
Fighting back against that.
Even Putin's not that fucking dumb. Honestly, I will take my hat off to him on that one.
So I will tell you a couple of examples of brainwashing that we used to do. So when on Russian like forums and stuff like that, They were discussing something. We were telling them, and I'm talking like those pro-Russian separatists as well as Russian regular forces. We were telling them that Putin actually, because they all convinced that evil America wants to kill all Russians and make them gay. We were telling them that Putin actually works for America, and you could literally hear their circuits burning inside their heads. They would be like, "Oh my God!" But yeah, this is how it works. So that's like one of the things we did. We did a bunch of different things. I once it was on like in Russian social media, this Vkontakte. I think I can already talk about it. So we were sharing information that so there is this special weapon used by Ukrainian forces. It sends a beam of like waves, okay? And this stuff makes you feel sad, lonely, hungry. So whenever you're like somewhere in your trench, and Ukrainian army launches this weapon, starts this those waves, you feel something like hunger, loneliness, sadness, basically all the things that a human being can feel while just killing time in a trench, And the only
I get that on pub chat every Friday.
Yeah, exactly. and the only thing to stop this influence on your body and your brain, the only thing to disrupt those waves was to drink Russian vodka, of course, because Russian vodka makes you powerful and strong. So, and people literally accepted that. So yeah, that was kind of funny. But picturing Putin as actually American agent, it was hilarious. I mean, the guy who offered this idea, he was genius.
Putin sees himself in his head as Harrison Ford, as a cowboy who rides tigers in the Wild West and owns it all and is the one in charge, all in one shit show of a movie that nobody ever wanted to see.
You see, the thing is, when you see all those photographs of Putin, you can't hear him like singing to himself. He's just under his breath. He's just going. Dum-da-dum-dum, dum-da-dum, dum-da-dum-dum, dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Yeah.
Doesn't he ride that sad horse person, Secretary Lavrov, back bare-chested into the sunset of Siberia?
I have this picture and I'm sending it into the chat right now.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Does it? Well, Chrome's got this thing now where sometimes you save an image and it's a normal, yeah, I'll do this for you image. And other times it's this stupid Chrome only format that nobody gives a fuck about, and you never know anymore. There we go. That is Putin's natural public posture right there.
Yeah, so he's kind of riding the sad horse, and it's hilarious. For some reason, like I only picture him this way when I think about him riding a horse. There was another one. Let me show.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to zoom in and really look, if you look at the two faces on display there, you can clearly tell that is anal penetration, and the guy on the backside that's feeding it is really enjoying that moment in the sun. So all I can conclude from this moment is poutine is a serious pincushion and all the world's a stage.
Now, see, I think this is a screen grab from the Russian version video of Two Tribes.
One is all that you can score.
Go to war, go to war.
Yeah, I like that. It's I think that's one of the outtakes where that was from that Australian drunken racist fuck who was cool in movies for a while, and he was like Rome's big fighter
hang on.
in that movie.
Australian racist fuck. You're not really narrowing it down very well.
How do I make fun of Mel Gibson in a more direct way?
Yeah, call him Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's funny. If you go on IMDb lately and you look up like Mel Gibson and a few people, all their new movies are like, I don't know, 3, 2.5. The ratings are not very good. Everybody's kind of done with you. Just go home, have a shave, and enjoy retirement. It's not a bad thing.
You see, a thing is, a lot of these Hollywood actors, they've suddenly come across the idea that you just crank out and produce a shit ton of movies, and it doesn't matter how good they are, just so long as you just keep on working, and you can get like 10 movies out in a year.
Nicolas Cage has like that. 2 come out from Bond.
Nicolas Cage, Bruce Willis was doing that because now he's
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal was famous for it.
Yeah, first and last in the chat said that one.
Oh God, who was the other one? The Belgian guy. It was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I'm sorry, but that is a mistranslation. His actual name is Jean-Claude Van Dancer.
Jean-Claude Van Kick you in the ball, sir. Nicolas Cage.
I tried to watch that movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent or whatever, where it's like supposed to be a parody of Cage. And I got halfway through twice and I can't finish the movie. I don't know if it's me because I don't like Will Ferrell either. I think he's just a complete putz, but it's awful. It's terrible. It's just, please, Doctor Who, Cheech and Chong is a way better way to spend 2 hours. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch that film now just to laugh about it. Because it's been on my list.
Horrible. It's horrible.
Good.
It's so bad.
I like horrible films.
Oh. It's like, you know what they did? They did The Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger, except they forgot to fix it and make it good.
Feel about The Last Action Hero is fucking awesomely terribly funny.
It's a guilty pleasure. I agree. But
you don't want to talk about guilty pleasures because my guilty pleasure is the fucking Earth 20 whatever AD or whatever with the Harrier jump jets and the Night Fever guy.
Battlefield.
Oh my God.
That is my guilty fucking pleasure because it's so terrible. It's funny.
Mine's Waterworld.
No, but hold on. Waterworld is at least watchable. He's talking about Battlefield Earth, which is basically Scientology wrapped into a fucking movie. Barman, what?
It's so bad. It's funny.
It turns out like there's a creator by the name of Media Zealot. He did a absolutely fun takedown of how stupid Battlefield Earth was. I mean,
It's awful.
you got to go actually watch that thing. Everything that guy does is funny.
They go from eating live rats because they were let go, and then that must be their favorite food, to reading a couple of books and flying F-16s into fucking warfare, all inside of what? About I don't know, 17 bars of music repeated 3 times. I mean, wow.
The fact the planes still work just makes it even funnier. It's been like 1,000 years where the planes still work. The fuel would have gone off.
That's especially like, right? We're just gonna fuel them right up. Yeah, because that shit lasts, no problem. Anybody who likes older carbureted cars knows that fuel lasts about 7 months. Like it's stupid.
It's hilariously bad that I find it funny and I laugh my way through the entire film. I don't treat it seriously. It's one of those guilty pleasures. I need something funny to watch because I can watch it and go, I could do something better than that. And it makes me feel good about myself.
Barman, you know what that movie should be retitled as? The Leverage of Mice and Men.
Oh, that's a good joke. It's a good joke.
Well, Barman says he can make a better film. So therefore, I challenge Barman to make a better film.
That's fine. I'll shit on my bar and show you a 3-minute video of it. If I have to do it as a 90-minute video, it'd still be better than that film.
It has to be 90 minutes to qualify for Academy Awards.
Does it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, for a feature.
Does that include credits?
Oh.
45 minutes of credits.
So, Starsky, over your way, what would be a guilty pleasure? A movie that sucks, but it's just too goddamn cool, or a TV show, right?
Oh my God.
Something that everybody watches, even though, it's just kind of cheese, right?
Let me think.
Yeah. For me, my guilty pleasure growing up was the Bionic Man and Bionic Woman shows. The $6 Million Man. I loved that shit when I was young. Yeah, totally, right? That's my guilty pleasure. Huge.
So, my guilty pleasure is the Sex and the City. I swear. So I started watching.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. I started watching those series because I wanted to learn English, and I've been watching Friends and Sex and the City, well, it's kind of and then you become addicted to this shit, and
quickly.
Yeah. And on the other hand, it's because I'm old and old enough, okay, and this period of time with those older phones with buttons and stuff like that, they are dear to me. I love this shit because that's my era, that's my period of this century. So that's my guilty pleasure. I would love to watch this.
So if you were going to cosplay as one of the characters, which one would it be?
If you were going to cosplay, do you know what cosplay is?
Which character would you cosplay as?
I think I would cosplay Mr. Big probably, especially when he's drunk, because he's so funny.
He was.
Yeah. I remember this episode when his wife has left him, and he was drinking, and he got into a fight with this Carrie Bradshaw's boyfriend because he was her ex-boyfriend, stuff like that, and they were like beating the shit out of each other. And because they're men, they obviously, after a good fight, they had a beer, and they were like drunk. And this Mr. Big was like, and you know what? She left me, but she can reach me, and I cannot reach her. And the other dude is like, oh, that's tough, It was awesome, I think. So yeah, that's my guilty pleasure. Sex and the City, and Friends, of course. But Friends, it's like I think it's a normal comedy.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Friends character?
I think it's Joey. Joey, of course.
I
Joey.
knew.
Oh yeah, I knew it.
Everybody loved Joey.
Mine was Ross, but to look at was Courtney Cox.
I hated all the Friends characters. They're so terrible. They're terrible fucking people. They're fucking horrible.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be.
I just like how only one of them had a job and they lived in an apartment that would probably cost about 10 grand.
Yeah, and then they all show up where everybody else is working and try to get them fired like constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another character in this comedy that sometimes represents me. Probably that's an old ugly naked man.
Oh, the one on the other building.
Ugly naked guy.
Yeah.
No, don't say that. Yeah, no, I don't believe it.
Now we know, ladies and gentlemen, that Starsky is that man in the other building. Noted.
That's what the credits say.
Yeah. So sometimes, when I wake up and there's no other human beings around except Fudge, but Fudge doesn't care. He has this issue too. So I go to kitchen and cook myself coffee, sometimes wearing only like underwear, sometimes not. And at some point, I noticed that every time I go and cook myself a coffee, there's always like a bunch of local grandmas outside of my window.
Well, there you go.
Do you get like free pies or cookies and such? Since
You're doing something right then.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unfortunately, hopefully I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, I think so. If you ain't getting super massive date squares and lasagna, I don't know. You got to reconsider how you cook your coffee. Maybe you have to put on some music or something.
Yeah,
Starsky,
I gotta do that.
catcher.
Yeah, I gotta do that to music. That's 100%.
Oh, do it to music, or we gotta learn the sign for peeps for treats, so you could just flash it out the window a little bit and see what happens.
There we go. Here's two women degrading a man. Feminism is at best.
Come on!
Hey, well, between you and Barman, we had to do something. I mean, you guys already played. Yeah.
Oh, I'm terrible, and I'll put my hands up for being a terrible human being.
I know.
No.
We've had some good ones from chat though. People saying Starship Troopers as a guilty pleasure and a good film. I saw Stargate from someone. I'm just scrolling up now for any others I missed. A-Team, Scrubs. Scrubs, if it was made now, would never be made.
No
one would let Scrubs get made. It's so racist, homophobic, sexist, and everything, but it's funny as fuck, and I love it from my point of view.
What around the table did everyone tell us their guilty little pleasures? Spill the beans.
Oh, you mean like movies? Yeah,
Oh, no, not just movies. We're going for guilty pleasures, right? We're on this. We're on this. Spill it.
Charlie
Spill it.
first.
What I already said, the water world, because it's widely recognized as a terrible movie, but I fucking love it.
It's a good film.
Well, Thunderdome. Yeah.
Oh, Thunderdome's awesome. I was going to say, if we're doing not movies for guilty pleasure, then it's watching Mallory's channel, obviously.
Well,
and putting a dislike on all those videos.
That's you. There's 2 dedicated people who thumbs down every video. Yeah. So now you just outed yourself. Thank you. But thank
I'm
you.
fat enough to be 2 people as well.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
That's your hand.
Oh, yes, it is. It's my hand. I was just going to say we just had someone join the chat, but I see Dick showed up. So,
yeah, I finally got back. Sorry. But we have the one and only Samantha Williams joining us in Google Meets. You're muted down at the bottom. I don't know if you're how good you are with Google Meets. So unmute, and then I'll hand it over to you to say hi to everybody and stuff. Just mouse down at the bottom. There you go. Hey, Sam, how's it going?
Hi.
Oh, don't be that shy. Take a big, deep breath. Use your diaphragm and say, holy fucking fuck, motherfuckers. I'm fucking here. And fucking
you don't have to say that.
Or hello. Or hello. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How's it going?
So I'm at work. I'm supposed to be working, so I have to be quiet.
Okay, so we'll let Sam drop in and out as she can, because you know co-workers have to believe she's doing something important, not just hanging out with a bunch of fucking drunks from around the world. You know,
I do that all day at work.
Bonjour, Sam.
See, you were questioning Sam's ability for handling meats. Mallory, how are you like at handling meat?
What?
Jesus Christ!
I don't touch meat at all. No, thank you. Jesus.
What, you're more of a fish girl?
Fucking hell!
What?
Oh,
Man,
I was going to say,
go choke on beer bubbles, sarcastic barman.
I went quiet so you could talk.
Oh,
I didn't mean to overtalk you. I stopped and put my hand up and everything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was DK that deserved that attack, actually.
I'm not sorry, actually.
All I was going to say is Mallory knows that the shortcut to talking meat is controlling D, because she likes having control over a D.
Whoa. Shots fired. Sarcastic Barman, there's going to be an episode or a stream that it's going to be me against you. And you?
That's fine. As long as you can control my D, it's all good.
Oh,
mate.
Jesus. Murphy. Oh, my God. I hope you fall off your bar stool and stump your toe. And the
that is a possibility.
Yeah, I know.
I triggered the fireworks for the celebration. Woo! Barman's giant in the background. Happy Independence Day fireworks! All right, woohoo! Here, I'm gonna do that again. Yeah. Oh, the button's broken now. For the love of God, really? Come on. Oh, boom. Okay, maybe not.
Blame DKG.
Why me?
DK, can't you find that button?
Yeah.
I don't have the buttons. It's not my fault Dick went and bought a real cheap set of fireworks.
Tickle me, baby. Oh, yeah.
He bought them off you.
Boom, baby.
I don't have fireworks. I just sell farts in a jar. That's all you get from me.
Hey, you could make a lot of money. You know, that influencer? Yeah, you could make a lot of money, DK. You got the right plan there.
10 print quote farts. 20 print quote go to 10. Run.
So, Claire, you're saying I'm going to be like the next Belle Delphine?
I do believe so. I just think they're marketed as the green ones, you know, like a specialty brand above hers. Like she's the clear one with no real thing. You could just market as the green ones. They're the most foul. People will pay extra.
That's killed me. I am done. I'm going to bed. It's 1 o'clock. I can't deal with all this shit. It's
That's what we were trying to do. Break a barman day today.
to be fair, the live stream I was going to do before I noticed this was going on was Let's Break Barman. So you filled it. You filled it. Don't worry. Right, I'll head off. It's late.
It's happy Beer Dependence Day.
Yay! Nostar, everyone, that was a fucking laugh and a half. Thank you very much. I needed a good smile. See you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
And there goes the last of the good ones.
Again.
Good riddance.
Yeah, I resent that. Okay. Yeah, speak for yourself. Yeah, we might be mediocre, but we're not bad.
Wasn't my words, it's Dick's.
Well, we're not listening to him.
What? Lord Thunder and Jesus, boys. What the fuck did you know? Wow. I'm feeling so Canadian right now. I'm just over my mind, man.
You mean drunk?
Is that a thing?
Need more liquor, right?
Mallory, is that what Canadian looks like? Can you help me here? Wait.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Booze and weed, and that's all you need. Eh?
She has a video on her channel where she's just there with a pot pipe talking about stuff. It's for 420 something sub video.
Oh yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
I have a second channel. I'm not going to give you the name right now. You're all going to have to figure it out. No, I'll put it in the live chat, but I'm not going to say it. And
it's called The Good Ones.
Shut the Mallory. Mallory, would you?
Here's another one. You can make money. Like everybody, just send your request to DK. He knows.
Mallory, I give you permission to fight DK in public.
I did once, and he lost so bad. I don't.
No, but I mean
can't
with
bully
weapons.
Elderlies.
Like
I mean, she doesn't handle me.
I have respect for the elderly. You know, you beat them once, and once they go down, you just gotta leave it and such. You know. Oh my God, yo.
What do you mean? What do you mean when they go down? That's my starting position.
All right.
All right, okay. You motherfuckers. I've got a question for Starsky then, because you're all just rambling now. So happy. Well, I just say Happy Independence Day. It's not really the right appropriate thing to say, but wish you the best on your Independence Day. What are we going to call the next one when you kick the Russians out? Is it going to be Independence Day 2? Because that was a terrible film.
Probably. It's a question. This question should be addressed to, I don't know,
Zelensky.
Yeah. Why not?
Well, send him an email. Bring him on. We'll ask him.
I tried.
If only. Yeah.
I tried. He said no.
No dick jokes. Yeah. He doesn't want to hang around because there's no good ones on here anymore.
I think, like, you know, he's too busy. But
what's he doing? He's not busy. He's not doing any sitcoms anymore.
You know, you're not putting a good foot forward for the Brits right now with everything being funny.
If I was him, I would call this day the day of independence and friendship. Why is because I noticed this while communicating with international community for almost half a year. I noticed one very specific thing about supporters of Russia and supporters of Ukraine. So, support of Ukraine is usually based on sympathy. It's like literally everyone who supports Ukraine says things like we wish to see you among European countries, we wish you all the best, and we wish you like prosperity and development and things like that. So people who support Ukraine are usually open and friendly and sympathetic. People who support Russia base this support on hatred. It's basically we wish them to kill you all because you don't exist and your language is fake and you're not a nation and you don't deserve to live and you don't deserve to be an independent state and stuff like that. So basically, like all the decent people who support Ukraine are open and friendly and sympathetic. People who support Russia, they basically do that out of hatred. So I would call the next day, if I was a president, I would call the next day of independence the day of independence and friendship.
The only people on the planet right now getting fed proper information that could support Russia are people that have to admit to themselves that what they're really supporting is the suppressive nature that they themselves live in because they approve of that suppression because they're extremists themselves. And they're the ones that we really have to get across to in life. You know, we have to take that need of being those people away. Otherwise, we're always going to keep coming back to these kind of de facto conflicts. You know, it's not right.
One of the things that I can definitely tell you is that decent people are stronger. And the reason for that is that we are always active. We have active standpoints. Whatever happens, we will go on a protest. We will go on a support meeting or whatever. We will always be active and show actively, like active support or active protest or stuff like that. People who support like Russia, they don't really care. They usually judge from their sofa because their sofa is the best observation point in the world. And they usually don't go on such events. They don't visit such events. So that's why we rule. In Ukraine, we had pro-Russian people who would support Russian politics and stuff like that, but they were always a minority because pro-Ukrainian people who were supporting the idea of Ukraine joining European Union and developing, people who supported Western vector of development, they always were active. And I think that's beautiful because this is how democratic countries are made. You have people who represent society. They protest against some decisions made by government. They support other decisions made by government. That's why we have this very, very strong civil voluntary movement in Ukraine. That's why thousands of Ukrainian children draw those drawings for Ukrainian soldiers. That's why thousands of Ukrainian civilians make those nets to mask our vehicles. and that's why millions of Ukrainian people send their money to support Ukrainian army and buy gear and stuff like that. And a lot of people literally volunteer, just showing a goodwill, good cause, because they don't need anything in return. A lot of people were, a lot of drivers, for example, car owners, would go to places like Irpin, Bucha, and Hostomel during the occupation of those cities, and they would offer their cars to people who tried to escape from those places.
Wow.
Like my cousin, for example. And my cousin, all his life, spoke Russian language. And after this invasion, he said, I'm so sorry, I had enough. I'm not gonna do that, because Russia, like, nobody cared about Russian language until Russia used their language as a bridge for their tanks, basically. So yeah, and that's why Ukrainian people will win this war, because we are so active. We will not just sit on our couches or sofas and expecting something. And
right.
And it was like that before. I swear it was like that before. It was in the times when we had no war. It was prior to Revolution of Dignity. People were so passive, and it was my biggest fear, actually, that we can fail as a country. But as soon as we faced problems and challenges like that, I saw Ukrainian people united, and it was like biggest surprise to me. It was the best surprise that I have ever had.
All right. Starsky, I'm going to give Samantha Williams here first rite of passage in our good nights and show wrap-ups and stuff. And I bet she's going to have like a comment or a question that'll go towards yourself. But Samantha, unmute yourself and you get the first good nights of the night.
Well, thanks for inviting me. Sorry, I was really late. Yeah. Sorry.
Come on, you got this. You've got a lot to say, and you've done a lot. Come on, you've got
I have a lot
one.
to say, but I usually just type it up. Yeah, I don't know.
I remember the first time I was on here, I was like,
Well, it's a bit awkward because there's literally children right next door. So, yeah, thanks. I don't know.
What we'll
Stop
do is
torturing the woman.
Yeah. We'll not put her on the spot anymore. But Starsky, there's been a big push from herself, with the images and the stuff from the kids and whatnot, So maybe you can address Sam and let her know what the support means, and then we'll get the real roundtable started here.
Yeah, so I would like to say huge thank you to Sam, because she is one of biggest supporters of Ukraine among the people I know personally. Actually, your support is something that motivates me to do what I do. Thank you very much for being there and for standing for Ukraine.
Of course. Well, I'll always be here.
You see, fellow babies, that's who Samantha W is. She is not just family. She is family. So, Claire, do you want to take us around and do a little roundtable wrap up, and we'll kick this shit into the can?
Okay, can kicking we're going. All right, so let's just start, right? Well, we just heard from Sam. So, Mallory, what did you think of tonight?
Oh, geez, you're starting with me?
Always, boo.
We said a lot of words. Yes. Words are
Okay.
great.
All
Thank
right.
you. Back to you.
Okay, thank you for
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
Miss.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
And next we have Commander 401. How did you think things went tonight?
Things went great tonight. Sorry I couldn't be here for a lot of it. I just want to say that this year started out looking like shit. But due to the caring and concern from people all around the world, Ukraine still exists. Putin is in the deepest pile of shit he's ever been in his life. And it gives you hope that there's still justice in the world.
Very nicely stated. Thank you. And next we have DKG. DKG, how did you feel tonight went?
How do I
One
feel?
of the good ones.
Yeah. One of the good ones, by the way. Yes, one of the good ones. Okay. Yes, one of the good ones. DKG.
How do I feel? How do I feel? I don't know how I feel. I feel tired. No, it was a good night. Yeah, good chat. I mean, I got a really, really big question for Starsky, but I think we'll have to save that for another time.
We do have Friday. You could.
We do have Friday. We have every day. First of all, I'd like to wish Starsky and everyone in Ukraine my best wishes for their celebration. I don't know if you can celebrate, but for your recognition of independence and the holiday that you have coming up that is now. I just wish the best for you. We all wish the best for you all. I do think it's probably about time that I stop getting recommendations in my YouTube adverts for cheering up Ukrainian women because they're always so fucking gorgeous. And at my age, I don't think I could cheer them up the right way. It's just, well, thank you very much for letting me in. Just the low scum that I am. I am very, very sorry that all I brought was my ass shittery. But hey, it's what I do best. Good night, everybody. Slava Ukraini, and we'll see you on the other side, Starsky. I'm sure of it.
Well, thank you for that, DK. And then on that, Charlie Welch, how would you say tonight went? Would you?
You make me follow that. Well, I was just
I don't have a choice.
I know some bad things happened to Starsky today. Bad things happened to Starsky today, and I just hope we helped turn his day around a little bit.
Yes, yeah, as we all do. And on that, Operator Starsky, our guest on celebrating today what would have been Independence Day if celebrated. And again, how did you feel today went?
Hold on, Starsky's no guest. He's been family here for a while.
In a celebration party, the guest of honor for a celebration.
Oh, okay. That makes
okay. Anyway, how did you think tonight went, Operator Starsky?
It was great as always, and you guys as well as our viewers became my family, and not just family but the family, because I celebrated my birthday together with you, and now we're celebrating the day of independence and friendship. So I appreciate it, and thank you so much. I also would like to mention my brothers and sisters who celebrate today in the trenches. They're doing a great job protecting Ukraine and civilized democratic world. So big shout out to those guys. They are awesome, and I'm so proud that I have the same patch as they do. Yeah, the world stand strong and stand together.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
very well stated.
You should be proud, and you should be proud of your family.
Yes. I'm very proud. Very proud. And on that, I hand it back to you, Dick.
Well, what do you say at that point? We are going to wrap this thing up right into the bag.
You just forget Commander 401. Saint Commander 401.
No, I didn't. I thought I did her first, didn't I? Yeah, after Mallory.
I was really early on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I must have blinked. No worries. Carry
I saw
on,
that
Dick.
green fog.
Shut up,
I don't
Meg.
know what it was. Anyway, back to you, Dick.
Yeah. So if I could wrap this up into one simple gag for Mallory, I would say.
I'm going to ask you the same 5 questions you
Hold
cannot
on.
do. Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Holy
Oh,
Spirit,
no. Oh, no.
activate. Holy Spirit, activate. 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 All right, let's go.
All right. So
And if
really
I've gotta-
amps you up.
Yeah, you know, and if I've got to bring Poutine's name into this, yeah, I agree. But if I have to say the name, there's only one thing I can do, and I gotta give him this one. You are the golden cock, you son of a bitch. Right? And so as I slap PJ CNET out of the show.
Shut up, Meg.
Once again, Putin, I'll give you the grubby dance. And I'll say my piece to say goodnight here. Anybody else, if you've got something to deliver on a personal level, please join us in our Discord, where we will be hanging out after and having some fun and stuff. And if I'm smart enough, I could actually get an invite and copy and paste it into the chat. There, I've done it. So join us there. And on that note, we're out of here, fellow babies. Everybody, Slava Ukraini, and celebrate
Slava
Ukraine's Independence Day today, because this is not the last of many. It is the first of a re-many where they show the world just how fucking tough they are. We're out of here, fellow babies. Let's say goodnight. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
It's over. Go home.